This episode of Your Mom's House is brought to you by Saatva, the only online mattress company that provides free delivery, setup, and mattress removal. Go to saatva.com and get your mattress right now.
Welcome to Your Mom's House with Tom Segura, and
Christina Pajitsky.
welcome to Your Mom's House.
Okay, I am obsessed. I admit it. I don't go anywhere without my Whoop.
It's true. He's
right
obsessed.
now, I have the battery pack on it, charging. The charge lasts for like 5 days, which is pretty remarkable when you consider the charge lasts of a lot of products you use. The Whoop is designed to track everything, 24/7 physiological data collected to help you analyze your most important thing, your body. It analyzes how much you sleep, how much sleep you need, recovery, how much activity, strain you put on yourself. It's fascinating. It breaks it down. You can see all the data. You can go back and look at days when you're like, oh, I went for that run. This is how I slept that day. You know that if you partied, you can look at the data on that day. It just is a fascinating thing. If you're looking to be smarter about how you sleep, recover, and train, you can be at your best. You have to get Whoop. For our listeners, Whoop is offering 15% off when you use the code YOURMOM at checkout. Go to whoop.com. That's WHOOP.com. Use the code YOURMOM, YOURMOM, at checkout and save 15% off your order. Unlock your best self today.
Freshest and head-cut fries, get fat like Bert, call me supersize. Are you bathing? Are you staying clean? Are you my girl? Do you really love me? Unleash. I know you really want to kiss, but I fought in your face cause you smell like piss. Chuck Berry. Don't confuse with Cool Terry. Oh, fuck when it. Cool got Terry, put a plug in his ass, double ended fuck sleep, got him coming fast. Oh. Virginity is cool. Come on. Virginity is cool. He's got it. Virginity is cool. What up? Virginity. My juice ain't sweet. The expiration date lied to me. Fuck you, bitch, whore, call me back. Ain't no slut too busy for that. Got a whole lot of love. Got a whole lot of love. Got a whole lot of love. Got a whole lot of Got a whole lot of love for the cool guy club.
It's a really cool summary of this show, you know? Like, I mean,
My face
this could be played at like a retirement party. Like, look at all the things you guys did. It's so nice that you introduce these people to a larger audience. That was
And you know, is that on the hierarchy, like on the top 10 list, which is what we saw?
yeah.
Uncle Terry is still the top of the
By
list.
the way, Uncle Terry, like, he was kind of the star of that.
He
you know,
smashed this.
throughout, like the way that he looks into the camera as he orgasms all the time is really fun.
right.
It's really nice.
You know, I didn't put that together, that's what's really neat about him.
Yeah, and we should say the song is by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Young Patreon, and then the video was cut by a guy. He goes by the Comedy Curator, and he has on Instagram, and he's got the YouTube channel. He's the one who made a FedSmoker video tribute that I posted on my Instagram. It is phenomenal. It's also on his YouTube page, but he cut that video together, which is
What a talent.
really
I mean,
tremendous. I love that he has all those cool guys and then Bert throughout the video.
yeah. Yeah, what a neat way to tie in that whole thing, too.
Bert and his friends.
You know, it was a nice walk down memory lane,
It was
seeing
really
all
cool.
these gentlemen that have touched our hearts
Yep.
and our genitals and made
they're-
us feel
the
sick
cool thing is
inside.
that there's no shortage of more of them. We have some for you today. They are here. They're really
Cool, yeah, I love. It
Yep.
is so in the zeitgeist, though, isn't it? I mean, exposing men's bad behavior. This is great.
It is
We're
cool.
doing a public service.
It's really great.
Oh, man, that really got me going. That was fun.
I know.
That was fun. I forgot about man uses lung infection as instrument.
Yeah.
Which was Nadav's brilliant titling
That's right.
on that clip.
Stay my love. Stay my love.
That guy brought us so much joy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. What a talent. And the spoons guy, I saw him clickety-clacketing and it enraged me again. Just seeing him even in that brief moment, I got angry that that's considered talent, too.
Yeah, I know.
It
That
pissed me
guy's-
off.
That guy, I remember. He's like,
Oh, God.
people are in a fucking arena.
Oh. Well,
Do it again.
you know what? It reminds me of Dr. Drew, because I'm doing Dr. Drew After Dark now with Dr.
Yeah.
Drew a lot.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that, you know, the IQ, how it runs, the IQ score,
Yeah.
is that there's a mean, meaning the middle, right?
Average IQ is 100.
So, right. So that means that half people are under that middle point and
Yeah.
half are above. And when he said it to me like that, I thought, well, first of all, I'm pretty sure I know which half we're on, but
Yeah.
that the most people are under the average.
Yeah.
And that's why they're watching a guy hit his body with spoons.
You can figure it out if you talk to audience members. At a show, you start doing crowd work, and then you start talking to some
Yeah.
guy, and you're like, "You're not really putting much together, are you?"
No.
I
No.
threw a premise at a guy,
No.
and then he was like, "Nah, that's not true." And I was like, "No, I don't think you're following what I'm saying." And then I laid out for him, like I did like a whole bit to support the premise.
Yeah.
And at the end, I was like, "Now do you get it?" He was like, "No." I was like, "God damn it!" Like,
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was reflecting on that, and I think the reason, one of the reasons you're so successful as a comedian, you're
'Cause I'm
very
kinda dumb.
Fun? No, you're very funny, but you also lay out the information. Your premises are
Oh.
extremely clear and concise, and you're making a big deal out of that. Like,
you have to, right? You have
well,
to.
because half the population is
Yeah.
under the average
But then
intelligence.
I think
quotient.
of two people when I think of like being clear with premises. One is now he's in prison, but Bill Cosby. I looked up to the heavens.
the prison in the sky.
He used to make that point that you gotta simplify things for audiences, and then who I think of the most is Chris Rock. 'Cause
Yes.
Chris Rock is famous for repeating the premise, right? It
Todd, sick and tired. Todd.
He would always repeat the premise, and people would attribute it to being stylistic. But then you realize, like, especially if you do stand up, you're like, oh, he's just making it clear this is what we're going to tell jokes about.
Yes,
You know?
reminding the audience.
Used to pay for shit that used to be free. Used to pay, and then you say the second time, used to pay for shit that you were paying for shit that used to be free. So now it's like it's in your head, and then he's like bottled water, you know.
Right.
So it's like you repeat premises like he does, or you really clarify them. And everybody goes, this is what we're going to joke about.
Right. Well, when you think about hearing new information for the first time, it does take a few times when you hear something to go, oh, that's what we're talking about?
And if you try to dress up your premise with colorful language that shows how sophisticated you are,
forget it.
You just lost half the
And let me
fucking
tell
audience.
you can't use big words, not those big words. You can't use words. For instance, I had a joke with the word philanthropist in it.
Oh,
forget
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Philanthropy. Forget it.
Yeah. No, you
Done.
have to like...
Done. Nobody knows what that
Big
word
words.
is. Not those big words.
Yeah, well, it's still you can still say big words. You know?
I don't
There's
say those
different
big words.
Oh, ass nigga.
Wow.
That's a different big word. That's
Wow. And then Annie says
Big
it a lot
words.
too. Doesn't he say it a lot?
any?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
On your soundboard.
Oh, sorry. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, and he's walking around the office. You know what? You want to know something? Like, just all day.
Nigga.
Yeah.
Okay.
There he is.
Yeah.
He says it the most.
Sure. Well, it'd be funny if we had Nadav recording those.
I mean, I'll record words that I'm allowed to say for you.
What are you allowed to say?
I'm allowed to drop some hard K's, you know?
Oh, right.
Some hard J's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hard J's. Sorry, what's the J?
He's the J.
What's the hard J? Just saying
Jew,
Jew.
motherfucker, you.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm allowed to say it aggressively, you know?
Right.
I don't think you are.
No.
Right. That's kind of rude if you
Yeah.
were to like chastise him.
Those GDJWSs.
That'd be kind of yeah. That'd be a lot.
What the K word is? What's the K word?
What do you mean? What's the K word?
What's the K word? Can someone tell me
Oh, for
what
crying
the
out
word?
loud.
Also, which one of these action heroes?
You didn't know this?
Should I make?
And he doesn't know lots of stuff, though.
Really? What do you mean? You mean like up until when?
Up until working here?
Like he said the word and I didn't know what I was like. What is that supposed to be? And he's like, it's me. But bad.
Slur.
Right.
It's me, but bad. That is a great way to explain a racial slur to somebody. It's me, but bad. I can tell my foreign relatives that about all the slurs. I'll be like, it's him, but bad. You'd never heard that before?
No.
I think that probably speaks well about the group of friends you've chosen.
Well, you grew up in LA though?
No, I grew up in South OC.
That's why. There's no JEWSs in South OC.
There's no K's over there.
No.
Yeah,
okay
that's
there.
why. Yeah, you
Bunch
got
of-
a bunch of
Yeah.
what's? What's in the OC?
It's just a bunch of
Crackers.
white people and white people and Asian people. That's it.
Did you hear Asian slurs?
I heard a few of those. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's okay. That makes sense.
Like which ones?
Yeah, what's your favorite one?
I can't recall off the top of my head, but there's definitely some out there.
You remember any of them?
It's not coming to me.
Is it a
You
blur?
I'm gonna have to refresh my memory.
Is it a blur?
It's a blur.
Okay.
What is the N-word?
Also, which one of these dolls should I
I
make
play
a
with?
video of?
You want Batman or Superman? Okay. All right, let's start the show. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get into it.
I'm ready.
Boy, we out here, boy, on the 5th-year highway, boy. I swear to Lord, boy, this baby, anybody that looking for a baby, dog, it's a baby out here in the middle of the road, bruh. I never seen no shit like this, bruh.
Who is Randy?
Don't bring anyone mother into this. Your mom in the fucking stand! Welcome to your mom's house with Tom Segura. And
Christina Pajitsin.
welcome to your mom's house.
That might be one of my favorite opening clips ever. We found a baby out here, man.
But the part that really gets me is the spit.
Yeah,
that's the part
it is
I've
cool.
lost.
to spit during that. We got a baby.
Yeah, but he didn't really turn his head. It was
No.
like a straight on spit, like
Yeah.
a llama. He didn't even.
While we out here, boy, on the Federal Highway, boy, I swear to Lord, boy, this baby, anybody that looking for a baby, dog, it's a baby out here in the middle of the road, bruh. I never seen no shit like this, bruh.
I mean, he just had to spit. What are you going to do? He had to spit.
But why didn't he even turn his head? He just
It's important to make the video.
We on the Federal Highway, bruh. It's a baby out here, bruh, on everything. In the middle of the road.
Oh, my
A baby,
God.
bruh. In the middle of the fucking road. No pants on, no shoes
Oh,
on,
my
bruh. In the middle of the
God.
highway, bruh.
No, I'm gonna die. I can't
know.
watch this clip. I
See that guy,
can't.
though? He's putting a sweatshirt on him.
Yeah, they're taking care of him. Did he just
Sweet.
run out of his? He must have run out of his house
Well,
nearby or something.
let's finish watching.
Oh my God! I
We
can't.
done called one time, bruh. This baby in the middle of the Federal Highway, bruh.
Of the
Whole white baby, bruh.
Oh, white baby.
No nothing on. And his parents still ain't showed up yet.
no.
Oh, man. A whole white baby.
I mean, the whole white baby, not just part of him.
that is
But that
so
part,
fucking funny.
can I tell you what makes me laugh is that my Indian stepdad
Yeah.
used to talk, and in the middle of talking, he would like
Spit?
find a piece of food in his mouth, and
Yeah.
he would be like, "Yes, I think I'm going down to Radio Shack later," and
Ugh.
he would do the similar thing.
Whole white baby, bruh.
The whole white baby, dude, he just spits like straightforward.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. He had to spit, man. What are you going to do?
Please tell me they found this white baby's
Just
parents.
keep
We
What?
done called one time, bruh. This baby in the middle of the Federal Highway, bruh. Whole white baby, bruh. No nothing on. And his parents still ain't showed up yet.
Oh my
Y'all,
God.
anybody know this baby, bruh?
Oh my
Please
God.
say something, bro. 'Cause this baby in the middle of the house.
This baby just out here, bruh.
No.
Yep.
Baby just sat here. I ain't never seen no shit like this before.
No.
Cold as it is out here, my family had to get a baby the damn jacket. Baby out here naked. Whole baby.
Oh, baby.
That
He's
baby out here in the middle of
tired.
the road, bruh.
Of course. In the road.
Ay, yay. Please tell me that someone.
Look,
finds
one
it.
time pulling up right now. Police pulling up right now. Ain't nobody, we been out here about 30 minutes.
Oh my
Ain't no
God.
parent been behind them or nothing. Baby just out here.
Oh.
What's that highway he keeps saying?
Federal Highway?
This is like, is this outside Atlanta? Is this like,
I mean, it sounds like Atlanta accents to me.
right? Like
Yeah.
a Georgia slang?
He been in the road. He was in the road, man. We been out here about 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
That is
I
crazy.
can't handle. Oh my God.
Oh. What are you doing?
That's it?
He's like,
Straight deal.
I get my sweatshirt back?
Yeah, bitch. She's like, wait, she's like, oh, what are you doing?
She says, what are you doing like he's 8?
here?" Yeah, you stupid
That
bitch.
baby's like fucking
I would have
2,
fucking lost
less.
my mind if my baby
Of
was
course.
gone for 30 minutes.
Oh.
Oh, there you are, like a cat.
Oh.
Oh, there's Lester.
You're outside
Yeah.
on the highway? My fucking 18-month-old is out on the highway. Ah, this kid.
Yeah, this rascal. She's not even traumatized or upset. Like, I'd be
What
out of
you
my
even
mind.
doing? Look at these white folks. Excuse me.
Does it end there? That's
Oh, I love it. He's like, look at these
Look at
white
these white folks. Like, excuse me.
What the hell you been doing? Look at these white folks. Excuse me.
That's my baby. Excuse me, my baby's over here.
That was disturbing. I don't like that.
That actually gives you like such
don't like it.
a good feeling though about humanity.
Of
that
course.
these guys are like young dudes rolling around. And they see a baby and they spend their time taking care of a baby.
She didn't even thank them.
No, she was like,
Yeah.
here. Thanks for the sweatshirt.
There's
and
my
fucking
ball.
Walks away.
Yeah, like she just lost her soccer ball. I mean,
we were looking all over for this thing.
hey.
I remember we kicked it and then forgot which way we kicked it.
I mean,
amazing.
That was
and startling that's a mother's response.
Yeah.
To her baby on the highway in a stranger's hands
my
with police
life.
there. She's like, "Is that him?"
You
where
would have to
been?
fucking peel me off the wall. I'd be so nuts if I lost my child. And that I'd be like out of my head. It would be hysterical. Oh my God, dude. This chick's on drugs.
Yeah.
Fucking white people are crazy.
Do you remember your NRE?
How can I forget NRE?
Do we have the NRE? Or how do I find the original?
The original's in that folder. It's going to be the top one.
Oh, the original post. Okay.
You know, I see a lot of TikToks, and this particular one really haunted me.
Well, everybody was talking about this.
It was national news.
This is it. This was the TikTok that you curated, and I mean, I played it for Drew. It was on Instagram. People were commenting on it because it was on the episode, and everybody was weighing in on whether this was authentic or whether this was somebody who was pretending to be excited. Just to give you a background, here it is.
So, my poly people, isn't it just the most amazing feeling when your partner finds a new girlfriend or a new partner?
Yes.
And you get to just soak up all that NRE and knowing that somebody loves your other half as much as you do.
Yes.
And waking up, they're still asleep, and seeing their phone going off, knowing that that's their new love.
Yep.
Just sending them messages and waiting for them to get up in the morning. My husband found himself a girlfriend. It's one of our best friends.
Oh.
And
So
I am
cool.
so incredibly happy.
Me too.
I can't share this on Facebook.
For obvious
I
reasons.
get to share it here. Because I just can't hold it in.
Yeah.
She's so amazing, and they're so
Oh,
great together.
I'm so happy.
And I love seeing them holding hands.
Me
and,
too.
My poly people, what's been your favorite thing?
That is a painful.
Everybody,
It's
this is the clip, and this is what people were weighing in on. They were saying like, "Oh, I don't believe that it's sincere. Like this is made in a vindictive, sarcastic way." And then some
No.
people were saying, "Well, I mean, that was the opinion."
I know.
So
I'm
that-
saying no. I don't agree with that. Go ahead.
Right.
And what's the other
But then some people were saying like, this is delusion. You can't possibly be this happy. And then some people were saying like, I guess this really is that NRE, that new relationship energy that she's speaking of in the poly world. Well, it turns out her boyfriend or husband. 'Cause I think she says husband, but in this title here it says GF, so I don't know. Whatever, they're poly, you know.
They're together, yeah.
They're together. Apparently, he got wind of us talking about this video, and he made his own video.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see it.
Okay.
Sue, one of my favorite things about being poly is just watching people minds go boom. Recently, I just got a text message featuring my girlfriend at your mom's house.
Oh, girlfriend.
It's a YouTube channel and podcast. And she just blew their mind. And they took everything they could from that video and they tried to dissect it to make it fit their narrative and their box. You know, saying she wasn't smiling right. She sounded like she was crying. Her husband must be a jerk.
I like his chain. I like his
The
necklace.
chain is cool. Yeah.
It feels poly.
It does. There is a certain aesthetic to the male poly person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about being poly. Walking down the street, holding her hand while she's holding his hand, giving her a kiss, and then watching him give her a kiss, and people just kind of looking like, what just happened? They're not killing each other? So this is part two, mostly because I've been sending this video out to a lot of my friends, and some have been texting me back being like, dude, this is not showing you guys in a very positive light. You know, they're making fun of your girlfriend, her husband, putting, this whole community down. And I'm like, dude, whether they're talking good about us or they're talking bad about us, they're still talking about us.
He needs to trim
So
his
to all those
beard.
people out there who are afraid of the LGBT community and polyamory and things that don't necessarily fit your box, please Keep talking about us. We love it.
I'm getting Garth vibes. But,
Yeah.
So to be clear,
Yeah.
he said my girlfriend, her husband, blah, blah, blah. So this is not that girl's husband.
Right. So maybe this is just one of her boyfriends.
One of her boyfriends. That's right.
Oh.
It gets a little confusing figuring out who's committed
right.
to who.
But I mean, just to be clear,
Yeah.
this guy is not the husband that she is speaking of in her video that she's so thrilled for. This is a separate guy, a boyfriend of hers. It gets confusing. That's what it's like to be poly. There's so many people. So
yeah, which fedora goes on which guy's head? Who knows?
I know. But this guy seems like a nice guy, and
yeah, he seems lovely. He's fine.
He's definitely, you know, he's.
I will say though, it does feel a little adolescent that his favorite part is that people like tweak out on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I was goth as a teenager. You know, when you're like, why are people staring at me? It's like, well, you know why.
Right.
Because you're dressed like a vampire in the middle of summer. And
you're dressed like a fucking asshole.
yeah, you're trying to get attention, negative attention. And then you get mad at like people just pointing out the obvious thing that you're doing.
You're
you
poly.
Know? You're poly.
You're
You're
poly. You need
bi.
people to know.
I need to be fucked a lot there.
Yeah. So I get it. I get it, man. It's very cool. No, he seems like a nice guy. And,
No, look, they are having fun. I think just to a couple of traditionalists like you and me, it's always interesting to explore other people's things.
Let's be clear.
They put it out there. We didn't
right, that's right.
steal this video from their private stash.
No,
this is on the talk,
And let's
guys.
be clear. It's not like we're the traditionalists that are. How about society is like, what? So he's right. He's right when he says that, most people are like, what's going on? That's right. 99.999% of people are like, huh? Because they don't do that. Yeah.
Because it's really kind of it's kind of time consuming, no, to go through all these partners.
Feels like a lot of energy to expend,
lot of new relationship energy.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot. But it just feels like a lot to juggle. I mean, it's hard enough to have a job
and and children.
Yeah, so now you're like, who am I fucking on Thursday?
Yeah. I kind of like to know who I'm fucking just forever. It's just nailing that part down.
Everybody has
life.
different preferences. I get it. It's fine.
I'm the kind that just likes consistency.
Yeah.
Like, who's my husband today? Who's my baby daddy
you
today?
Can change it.
Who am I sleeping with tonight?
You can change that.
Right.
That's the whole point.
But I'd prefer not to. I'm kind of boring that way. I just like to know who's in my life.
Well, I guess that's where we differ. So let's.
Wait a minute. Are you dating somebody right now?
Just hold on. There's a big announcement we got to make, and I've been
holding
on to
sorry,
this.
I didn't want to interrupt. I love this sound so much. It makes me laugh. So silly.
For only the biggest announcements do we reserve cat eating kibble. And this is going to blow some minds right now. I know it blew minds Saturday night in Spokane, and that was just in a room.
Yeah.
And here, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I
am
back to getting Nike products.
What?
I know.
What?
I know.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
I
thought we were a 3-stripe family only.
I think I'm allowed to be just a regular citizen.
What do you mean?
And just like I always had been before, just have, products from both brands. I got into a totally delusional state of mind for the last couple of years. You said you didn't even know this.
I didn't. I was not aware. So I'm aware of the bit that you did.
Okay, so let's clarify what happened.
Okay, all right, Tom. Let's walk them through it.
Let's walk them through it just to set up the whole story.
Sure.
So I do a bit at the end of Disgraceful, towards the end of Disgraceful, about talking to Nike about free shit, and then they basically were like, "Oh, I wanted to buy stuff at their store, and they told me I couldn't buy stuff at the store because I was a person of influence."
Oh, right.
That was the term they used.
Nike said you couldn't.
I couldn't buy
things.
stuff at the employee store because a person of
and
I go, well, how do I get stuff from you? And they're like, well, you have to go through the entertainment division, you get free shit.
Oh.
And then the free shit person was like, not today, basically.
Okay.
So I made it a joke, obviously, right?
Right.
You you dress it up and you exaggerate certain points for the bit. And I did the bit in a special, and then of course I was like, fuck you, Adidas anyway. Then Adidas reached out and they gave me a bunch of shit, right? They sent me a ton of shoes and clothes, which was really cool, and I appreciate it. And then of course I did the right thing and like not only wore it, but you know, I would post it and everything. Anyways, then like the special comes out and people are constantly saying to me like, oh yeah, Adidas, man, Adidas. And they, you know, they would just make reference like, I know you hate Nike. And then I would be like, yeah, oh yeah, I hate them. And you know, and so I would,
people were feeding.
They were feeding
the fire kind of
that narrative of like, you're with Adidas now.
Hilarious.
And I was like, oh yeah. Then I was in Portland and an Adidas rep said, you can come if you want to see the offices, and I do that. Then they give me another stack of shoes. So then it like puts it in. I'm like, that's right. I'm with you.
Right, you're Team Adidas now.
Yeah. And then like my closet's getting full. I have to donate, so I just donate all my Nikes. Then
wait a minute. Wait. So you're saying that? So you have your Adidas stuff. I wasn't aware that you went back and you were like, I am done with Nike.
Oh, yeah.
I'm donating all my Nike.
Well,
it wasn't
in one moment. That's the thing. It's like I'm summarizing things. It's like a slow thing, right? Then like guys would like they would give me shoes. You know, like people would be like, hey, I like that guy who Moshe, I forget his name. He painted a pair of shoes for me. That's a different guy. But this guy just like he goes, I know that you hate Nike, so I painted these for you. And I was like, right.
Oh no.
So it would just constantly drive that narrative in my head that like I'm on Adidas. Like I don't have a contract. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just gave me some stuff, which was really nice. So anyways, I realized I slowly, like one time I was at a hotel gym and I just had on a Nike, like a workout shirt. And a guy was like, hey, what are you doing wearing Nike? And I was
Shut
like,
up.
He was like, I thought you were an Adidas guy. I was like, it's just like a t-shirt to work out in. And he was like, huh, that's what.
Like you had disappointed him as a fan.
He's like, they're not going to be upset about that? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're not
in the NBA.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm in Spokane. Thank you very much, everybody that came to the shows. I had a blast. It was really fun. The day before was in Tempe, and thank you to those people doing the Spanish show. But we're in Spokane. We're killing time, Jeff Tate and I. And we're just killing time early in the afternoon, and we're in their mall, and then it says like Nike store. He goes, oh, I want to check out the Nike store. So I'm just like rolling with him. And we walk in the Nike store.
And did you feel like, was there a moment of like, I shouldn't go in there, or you kind of just like, it's Jeff's thing, so that's okay?
Yeah,
Jeff
it's like I'm going with Jeff. Like it'd be like if you were buying makeup. I'd be like, I guess that's what chicks do, you know. So I walk in there.
I'm surprised Jeff's buying new clothing items. First of all, I'm just happy he's buying new shoes or
great.
something. Okay.
So we're in the Nike store, and I realize it's kind of like a factory. It's like a factory outlet kind of store. You know, it's not a Nike town. It's like one of those. Anyway, so we're like, oh, do you have Jordans? He's like, do you have any Jordans? And the guy says, oh, we just got the Retro 3s yesterday. Like, and we have them in the back. They're not even out on the floor. He goes, do you want to see them? And I go, yeah. He goes, what size are you? So he's asking me now. And I go, 10 and a half. And he goes, okay. And he comes out, yeah, that right there. So he comes out with them and he goes, oh, yeah, we have them in your size. And I just look at them and I go, I'll take them. And I felt
wow,
a rush inside.
Wow.
I felt almost guilty. And then I boxed them up and I took them back and I wore them to the show. And as soon as I walked out of the green room, like I'm waiting in the corner to get introduced, one of my friends was there with his wife. And he goes, my wife says, what are you doing not wearing Adidas? And I was like, what the fuck? This is right before I go on stage. Like, no one's seen me yet. And she's like, why are you wearing Nike?
Everybody's looking for it. Isn't that funny?
Isn't that hilarious? And so anyways, I had to like talk to myself and be like, it's okay. Then
it's like when you have those breakthrough thoughts that you and I talk about all the time. Like you can buy more than one phone charger.
Yes.
Or you can towel dry yourself off completely when you get out of the shower.
This is what's going to make you laugh. So I have that thought what you're talking about. Like
Like, oh, I can do that.
I'm allowed to do this. So I sit on the plane on the way out of Spokane, and I start buying shoes, like on the store, on their online store. And I'm like, this feels good. This feels right. And I place my order, and then I get home, and it's just funny, but like, read this sentence. This is the email I get. I just thought it was funny.
It says, "Hi Thomas, your recent Nike.com order has been canceled."
They canceled it. So I was like, oh, they're telling me you're not allowed to buy our
So
stuff.
you read that first line and you were like,
I was like, they know.
They know that I'm an Adidas guy.
They know that
the drama.
I'm a fucking double agent.
But it says we're unable to verify your billing information.
Yeah.
So it's just because
So I had to call them this morning.
Hilarious.
And they were like, yeah, we just have to like double check this.
Hilarious. But isn't that funny? It's like the universe being like, you can't have these Nikes after you allowed yourself the joy of having them.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways,
Hilarious.
it did bring me joy. I'm having them on today.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
Which ones do you have on?
The ones that he just had
the
on.
red. Those are really cool shoes.
Yeah.
I didn't
got
realize.
on my Brody. Brody is me.
Oh,
friend.
I know. It's the
Positive
anniversary
energy.
of his death a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm wearing those right now.
Dude, those are really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how cool they were. I'm just really now getting into sneakers because I don't wear heels. I buy cool sneakers instead. I really do like those.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I feel like I'm allowed to have Nikes. I didn't realize there was a ban, but I'm so proud of you now.
There was a ban in the home.
What else do you think you're quietly like, because we all do that where you block off parts of your brain. You don't allow things. There are rules in your brain that don't make sense.
Yeah. There are definitely
like
rules
these
in your
weird
brain.
unconscious rules.
I know. And you go like then you realize that, oh, what? Like everything's fine.
I know. I can do that thing. I don't need permission. I can just do that thing.
So ridiculous. I feel ridiculous. But now I feel much better. Like having said it out loud and having bought a pair of shoes.
You feel like you're back in the groove of
I
things.
do. I actually do. I feel much, much better.
Like a new lease on life.
And I'm not leaning. I'm just, like I said, just buying whatever I want, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no.
Yeah. Just live your life, bro.
Yeah.
I think what I'm about to tell you will make you pretty happy.
Okay.
Too. So the other day on Dr. Drew After Dark, I brought up a dream that I had.
Uh-huh.
I dreamt the other night that you had 2 dicks.
2
dicks.
Where were they?
Well, that's the thing. So I had one of your peeners in my mouth and one of your peeners in my meow. But I don't know where on your body they came from.
Was one on my forehead? And I just
must have been. I think we were 69ing because remember I was asking you what your closer was?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, 69ing?
Yeah.
So maybe in the dream we were 69ing.
Yeah.
And you had like a childo or something, a chin dildo, a chin dick.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that
Would
means?
you try the childo?
Yeah, I don't care. You want to order one? Let's do it.
Yeah. Can you pull up a childo?
Yeah. They look cool. I think a childo looks cool.
Dude, I would definitely. There it is. Which one should I get?
Is that the most embarrassing thing ever?
Well, I like that they modeled it on a mannequin as opposed to a person on the first few. Like, have
Not
a person
him.
wear it.
Look at that guy. He's
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, I wear a childo. And what? What?
Wait, would you try that?
I mean, I guess. Yeah. Sure, I'd try it.
But
I'll
I
give
feel
it a
like
whirl.
this.
It's vaginal. It's fine.
This right here.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a lot of.
Yeah,
a
what's-
lot of neck work.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean?
Wait.
Because you're gonna want to just put it in there and do your thing, and then you're gonna be like, "Hey, how about some neck?" And you're like, "All right." Like.
That's a really good point. And then how will I have to be on the edge of the bed so that you can be on your knees?
Yeah.
Because we can't both be laying.
Well, you could, but I think the edge of the bed's better. That part's fine.
Are we 69? And you can use the childo.
You could, but no.
But
that's
no,
the way
your
you
neck
want
won't
it.
go.
Sorry. You're gonna have to do some post. A post blur. Oh, before
that's
I forget,
how you use the childo.
Before I forget, do me a favor. Pull up my YouTube channel so I can just lay this out clearly before I'm gonna totally forget to do this. You guys, everybody has asked me about this. We have been doing Spanish episodes, and people in the first episodes were like, where are the subtitles? So episode 5, the one with my mom, we did a whole episode together. The subtitles are burned in to the video, right? You see the English subtitles. A lot of people complained about the font and the spacing and the lettering. We heard you. So for episodes, is it 3 and 4?
Right now it's just 4. We're working on 3.
Okay, so for 4, you put it in the closed captioning. So if you want to watch that episode and actually see the English subtitles, you just turn the closed captioning on, and we will be doing that moving forward. Which way are we doing it moving forward?
So we're attaching it to episode 3.
Yeah. So wait, in 3 though, is it going to be in closed captioning?
Yeah, it's going to be in closed captioning. So if you want to see, if you're watching on YouTube right now, just to the bottom right corner of your screen, you'll see a CC button. Hit that, hit English, and then you'll have English subtitles.
Okay.
Like that.
Great. Well, a lot of people asked me about it, and they said they love watching and listening to Spanish and reading it in English. So,
and then moving forward, all episodes will have them.
We'll have that with the option to turn on closed.
To turn it on, because I saw that some native Spanish speakers were complaining, like, "Hey, this shit's just for us."
Got
so,
you. Okay.
Can I go back to my 2-dick dream?
Yeah, please.
But don't you feel like it's an honor that A, I have sexual dreams about you?
Yes.
And B, that like not only are you so virile, you have one penis, but you have 2 dicks.
I'm fat. I would love to hear a dream interpretation of it.
I'll talk to my shrink about it this week. But don't you see, like, I don't even have dreams about other men. Like, I have never had a sexual intercourse dream with another person.
That's
it's
crazy.
Always you.
That's not poly at all. That's so different.
Well, it's not poly.
No.
But how does it? Don't you feel like you're an extra man? Because
I do. I really appreciate it. I actually feel it makes me feel good that you have those types of dreams. 2 dicks.
Right.
Yep.
I kind of wish you'd thank me for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. You're laying on your back. You got me in your mouth. You got me in,
Yeah.
No, nothing butt related?
No. Just vaginal.
No anal.
No. I don't like butt stuffs. You know that, babe.
Yeah.
I'm not into butt stuffs.
No, it's pretty cool though.
Do you ever have sexual dreams about me?
Yeah.
When?
When I'm sleeping.
When's the last one? You know what I meant. I meant when's the last one?
A couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
What was I doing?
Taking it.
Just taking it?
Yeah. I was
missionary?
Kind of, yeah, drill dog, yeah.
Drill dog?
Yeah.
Like pile driver?
Nah, I wasn't a pile driver. I don't dream in pile driver. I usually dream in like a doggy and like you know what it was? It was that
drill
it's
dog.
that you were it was
drill dog.
It was like there was people outside the room. That's what it was.
Or children?
No. Like we were somewhere like in someone else's house.
Oh.
And I bent you over a table,
I wish you would tell me about these dreams when you have them.
I kept it to myself.
Yeah. Can you share?
All right.
I like knowing.
And it was fast.
The drill dog.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was like there's going to be people.
Gotcha. You were in a hurry. And did you bagok? Did you finish? And did you blow a load in real life? Did you have a wet dream?
No, you have to be really, really, really backed up to have a wet dream as an adult. But
is that right? As a 40-something-year-old dude?
Oh, my God. Your tank has to be just...
really crazy as
to
a
be like,
grown-up.
I'm not going to release this ever.
When's the last time you released in your sleep?
Oh, I can't remember.
Adolescence?
No.
Nadav?
No. I feel like I had an adult wet dream once. I think I had an adult wet dream once, like in my 20s. But most of the time, you just have so much, you're dumping your clip all the time.
Can I ask you, how old am I? Am I 43 or 44? I can't remember. How old are you? The other day, I'm like, am I 44 or 43? Tom, how old are you?
I'm 40, babe.
So I'm 43. The other day, I was like, I cannot remember for the life of me. And then I didn't want to do the math of going like, hey, 1976, 2020 minus 1976. I can't even do that math. And I was like, just forget it. I fell asleep. I was like, but do you ever just like, when you're in bed and you think those thoughts, you're like, it's too much effort. I don't even care.
That'd be so retarded.
Yeah. Yes, I remember.
I'm like, I'll just ask.
You
Tom
are 43.
When I wake up.
Yeah.
I'm 43. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
right.
Thank God. Yeah.
I got something cool AF to show you.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. This guy is awesome. Where is he? Best Brown. Here we go. Sorry. Here we go.
This is a message for all the ladies out there. My fifth video of the day. I want to go down on you. My last girlfriend was so self-conscious, she didn't really go down on her very much. On the first girls I've been with, the first two, loved it. The third one, I did it for some reason. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I miss that.
The Cool Guy Club.
That was pretty awesome, huh?
Well, it's cool that he's on the gun range and he had to stop shooting his gun to make that video.
Yep. It's my fifth video of the day.
I want to go down on you.
Yeah. He has what some might describe as manic energy.
I miss that.
I'm making 5 videos a day. I miss eating pussy.
It's a full day,
That's
stacked
a lot.
calendar.
Definitely a lot. 5th video of the day.
My fifth video of the day.
Okay. Woo! All right. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
You think
message for all the ladies out there.
You think he'd take the headphones off to make the video just to look normal?
Well, some guns are about to go off.
Oh.
So he's just protecting his ears. You know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So stupid. I didn't realize.
The tongue thing.
Message for all the ladies out there. My fifth video of the day.
No thanks.
I want to go down on you. My last girlfriend was so self-conscious, she didn't really go down on her very much. On the first girls I've been with, the first two, loved it. The third one, I did it for some reason. I don't get it, man.
Wait, hold on.
I don't get it. I miss that.
First of all, it's not this. It's
right.
This, stupid.
Right.
So if you're going to do it.
But he had it on her side a lot. And he was like,
dipshit.
You know?
What? He had her on her side a
He
lot.
put her on her side.
Look at you guys. You're like, yeah, boy. That's so dumb.
It's so true. He was looking pussy from the side.
Oh my God.
That's how I'm going to start doing it in
Stop
public.
it. Stop it with your beef tongue.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like Cray
I miss
Sean
that.
said.
I miss that.
You guys are horny. We need the drop of Cray Sean saying, you guys are horny.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Very cool.
This is terrible, Tom.
God rest his soul in heaven. FedSmoker keeps getting tributes. And one of the things that also keeps happening is that people are rediscovering some of his not as well-known material. Today, we have him at a Native American gathering. There's a dance and song going on. And as a historical fan and a fan of different cultures, Connell was there to pay. He was very respectful. That's really cool, man.
That is so funny.
The lady to our right looks over at one before and she's like, that's not what to do.
Hold on. He looks different. There's no facial hair. There's no head hair. And
Nope.
I'm seeing there may not be eyebrows.
Yeah, he was maybe been feathering that day.
He feathered his brows off.
Yeah, super feathery day. Different dog.
It's a puppy.
Isn't that a different
Yeah,
dog?
that is a different dog. He had like a German Shepherd
He
thing
has the
before.
turnover we were talking about. Had one dog this day, another dog the next day. Oh, boy.
You don't need the same dog every day.
Well, that's why she wanted me to mop it up. She said no. Okay. Yeah, but still.
Yeah, they kicked him out. Yeah. Saying the dog pissed on the floor and he needs to leave.
Oh, that's what got him kicked out?
I'm sure they were like, hey, how do we get him out? And then they're like, just say the dog pissed on the floor.
Where was he when we were New Year's Eve? Remember at the...
And there's a smile, by the way. He's like...
He loves it. Where was this guy New Year's Eve when we were watching the dancers, the Aloha dancers?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy with the tits was doing his dance?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you wish he was there in the audience? being
FedSmoker?
Like, "Ah!"
Just terrorizing.
Just ruining stuff. I love it.
Disrespecting them. And then somebody had to come over and be like, hey, man.
That makes me laugh.
Your dog just peed. We need you to leave.
Your dog peed.
Oof, man.
He's like, I'm Native American.
All right. I'm going to be in Las Vegas, March 6 and 7 at the Mirage Hotel and Casino. Very excited about that. And then I will also be April 18th, Valley Center, Harrah's Resort in Southern California. I then go to do Spanish shows in Dallas, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. Oh, we're adding actually a Spanish show here. Let me tell you about it. I'm doing one in the Belly Room. In the Belly Room in Los Angeles here. March 12th. March 12th. If you want to go to the Spanish show, March 12th in the Belly Room. In May, I'm back at the Mirage, May 29th and 30th. And then I go to West Palm Beach in Florida, 5th and 6th. Spanish show the 7th in Miami. Back to the Mirage, July 17 and 18. I'm doing the Borgata in Atlantic City, August 15th. And then the Mirage again in October, the 23rd and 24th. All tickets at tomsegura.com/tour. And I'm adding a bunch of dates soon to be announced. Very excited to be coming out to a bunch of cool places. Gene, where are you going to be?
So the early show at the Ice House is sold out in Pasadena. There's still some tickets available on the late show, March 7th in Pasadena. I go to Miami and then Addison Improv. That's actually Dallas. Caroline's Comedy Club in Jew Dork Titties, April 3rd and 4th. The Funny Bone in Des Moines. New Westminster, British Columbia at the House of Comedy. Phoenix, Arizona, Cleveland, Ohio, and San Antonio, Tejas. Ticket links at Christina P online. Follow me on the gram at the Christina P, and check out Where My Mom's At. I do a podcast of mom stuff, and it's actually, I think, pretty fun. And I talk to these clowns in the booth, Native and Annie and Chris, and we talk about all kinds of mom-related stuff. There you go.
Right.
Check out my Netflix specials. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
What was the other? What was that? You know what I'm saying? This is a Chevy Suburban. You know what I'm saying?
I got a 2001 Chevrolet Suburban. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
That's one of
Wait,
my
say
favorites.
it again. Do it again.
He goes, I got a 2001 Chevrolet Suburban. You know what I'm saying? Putting on for my city. All right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, psh, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So coming up here in just a moment, we will have another comedy couple, Moshe Kasher and Natasha Leggero. We will be back in a moment.
Bye, Gene. Gene, I am hooked on Best Fiends.
Yes.
You know, we started doing these spots for them, and I started to get hooked. I am totally hooked. I play it on airplanes. It's my new thing. It's great because I don't need to be online to play the game. I'm super high in the levels now. Every puzzle, like every level, you figure out what the trick is to get to the next one. It's really fun. It's really engaging. It's not so hard that you can't, you know what I mean? Like when games are too hard and it's not too easy. The characters are adorable. I'm super into it, and I highly recommend you try it out. Best Fiends has thousands of levels already, with new levels, events, and characters added every month. It's hours of fun right at your fingertips, and you can even play offline. With over 100 million downloads and tons of 5-star reviews, Best Fiends is a must play. Download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R. Best Fiends.
Delivery is more than just pizza in 2020. With a selection of your favorite flavors from across the globe, you can order cuisine from the comfort of your home with DoorDash. Ordering is easy. You open the app, you choose what you want to eat, and your food will be delivered to you. If there are people not taking advantage of this, I mean, it was true that back in the day, that was the only thing you could get was pizza. And then everything else was like, well, I'd have to go there. And that is not the case anymore. You open DoorDash, you can just type in a type of food, and it'll bring up all the restaurants in the area that deliver that you can order from. And in moments, you can be eating whatever you want. Curry, sushi, steaks. They just deliver it from your favorite place. There are over 310,000 restaurant partners in 4,000 cities. So you might find a new favorite one too, with door-to-door delivery in all 50 U.S. states, Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia. You can order with your local go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Chipotle, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, the Cheesecake Factory. You never have to worry about your next meal. Right now, our listeners can get $5 off their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code MOM. That's $5 off your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter the code MOM. Don't forget, the code word is MOM for $5 off with your first order with DoorDash.
But they say coronavirus is from eating a bat. So I guess it went.
Snakes.
Are you kidding?
No, it's not snakes
Who
anymore.
ate a bat?
Chinese people.
Yeah.
It was
They eat everything.
They're just not like us.
The Chinese eat everything.
They do like everything.
They do eat everything. Yeah.
You guys ready to get going?
Yeah.
That's not going to get on there? That should be the opener.
I thought it should be too.
You got the title of your episode.
We were rolling? Yeah, just keep going.
Forget it.
Chinese
Keep
eat
going.
everything. Well, now that I'm thoroughly
well,
panicked.
let's just
I'm sorry. I mean,
God,
I
I'm
figured we could
terrified.
talk about it.
let's make it clear that our guests today are married comedy news team, Moshe Kasher and Natasha Leggero. Let me ask you guys something. Are you guys just cracking each other up all day?
Yeah.
Oh, it's endless comedy.
Yes.
What about you guys? You must be doing it too.
All
I've
day,
never been
every
asked
day.
this.
It's
but
so fun.
yes.
Wait, who's funnier?
Oh,
Wait. Now, if he says something funny and then who owns it?
I mean, no comment on the who's funnier. I don't want to get myself in trouble.
I would actually say comedians who you're married to who are funny in normal life are usually more annoying in fights.
In fights.
Yeah, like if you're
Yes.
if you're fighting with a comedian,
Oh, yeah.
they're like way more annoying than fighting with just like a regular person who's not funny.
Well, their skill set's so much higher.
yeah, so it's like
Yeah, because a comedian
That's so
has battled
true.
with audiences, for decades, and then you're going to
Yeah.
argue with them.
Yeah.
It's
I
So
put them on YouTube. I put our fights on YouTube. I say comedian takes down uptight bitch.
Moshe likes arguing so much. He joined a Facebook group just for arguing like different points.
Oh my
I
God,
bet.
I love that.
No, it's specific, and I think you'll come to my side of things. I stopped arguing with random people on the internet when
A while ago.
Something happened where something changed in the last 4 years where people stopped going like, "You suck, you're not funny," to "I know that you live in Silver Lake," and I was like, "Okay, you win." Yeah, I think you win this.
Yeah.
Maybe you can cut that out.
yeah, make
No,
note
it's a
of that.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
It's a-
yeah.
nobody looking at me doesn't know I live in Silver Lake anyway. That's
true.
But so at that moment, I stopped fighting with people on the internet, but
Yeah.
I still have that instinct in me where I want to
Yes,
fight. So
sure.
I joined a Facebook group specifically
Oh.
to
This is
excise
hilarious.
There you
that
go.
part.
Do you
of,
really?
Yes.
And
But
then
they
do you,
asked,
do you
like-
get into you get to type out your argument?
What
Yeah.
are you arguing about? Like Trump 2020?
Wait, first
No.
can I just say I always know when Moshe is in the middle of an argument because we start getting into fights about how much he's on his phone.
Right.
Oh,
So he just
yeah.
all of a sudden is like whoomp and like furiously texting with someone, and then I'll be like, "What's the fight about?"
I
And he's like,
bet-
"Why are you saying that?"
I bet he's
Anyway.
tough. I bet
Ooh, look at the look of
you're
the
a
look at his face right
nightmare
now.
No,
to
He
argue with.
went there. He saw that.
I bet you suck to argue with.
I'm not a fun.
He does so bad.
I'm not a fun person to argue with, but Natasha's not cool about it. She'll pretend to be interested. She'll be like, "Oh, something going on something going on online? What's going on online?" And it's bullying.
Yes,
She
yes.
knows that I'm in a panic state.
I 100% with you. On that.
Yeah.
It's
I
not-
know because she does the same type of shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, are you really interested?"
Well, because he'll watch. What he likes to do in the morning is watch videos of people screaming.
Oh, you
Moshe
fighting.
too.
World Star?
Sure.
All day,
sometimes,
every
yeah.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
I go. What do I do? I
Yeah.
go email, Facebook, CNN, World Star.
That's how
Yeah.
you get a feed.
Yeah.
Those are my opening stanzas of the day.
Yeah.
Figure out what's going on in the world.
I know, and your kid is like going to sleep with like,
Right.
someone like yelling at a Walmart, like
Right.
having a mental breakdown or
Or it's at the breakfast in the morning, first thing in the morning. Motherfucker don't know shit. I'm like, what are you watching, babe? What enlightening program?
See, it's that
And
tone.
then it bleeds. I know exactly. That's a
Oh.
very shitty tone to get.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I get chastised because the doorbell rings and I go, fuck. And she's like, what's the problem?
Yeah, what are you
And I'm
angry
like, well,
about?
the
The doorbell
doorbell
rang?
just interrupted what I was doing. And that's why I got upset. And that's why I said, fuck. And she goes, now you're going to program our child to think that a doorbell ringing means you got to get really upset.
Say fuck. Our kid was
And it has happened. Now our son screams "fuck" every time the doorbell rings.
Our
He's
kid
4.
was in the tub the other day. She's
Normal.
2, and she goes, She looks at me. She goes, "Fuck, I'm tired." I was like, "Neither of these came from you. No way you're tired. Fuck, I'm tired."
Our kid says that. What did he say? He says, "Oh, the other day."
Oh, he goes.
I was like, "Where are the fucking wipes?"
iPad.
He's like,
he
"Fucking
goes.
wipes."
He goes. All you gotta do. He's 4, right? He goes. You go like this. You fuck it up, and then you go like that. I go, "Where did you get that from?" He goes, "No, you just do it. You go fuck it up like that, and then you go like that." And I was like, "All right, man, fuck it up. It's good."
She also came up to me the other day with a stick of deodorant, and she goes, "You need it, Dada."
Oh shit.
Yeah, roasting.
That's hilarious.
Are you
Yeah.
smelly?
Well, that day I was. Yeah, she was actually right that day.
Are you hairy
I
under
am
all
hairy.
that? Yeah.
He's very hairy.
I'm very hairy.
Yeah,
I'm-
because Natasha's
You haven't seen
not
the famous
smelly at all.
Moshe
No.
Kasher arms?
Yeah, I got quite.
I feel like I have. Wow.
I mean, they're really intense. Where's my camera?
I see, honey. I never even noticed that was Harry, but every time I post a picture of you online, there's like all these people like
Chewbacca.
shaming
Chewbacca.
you.
Who let the wolf out? Haha, I know you live in Silver Lake, bitch. Get ready to get murdered. Stuff like that.
So wait, did you used to go deep on the arguments?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
thought there was some part of me, and I know that it was fake. That I know that it was just my ego that thought it was a part of my comedy brand, that people enjoyed watching me like really get into it with
Right.
people. And in reality, it was just me trying to continue a fight with people. But I would try to really infuriate strangers.
I think there's a case to be made though for what your thought was.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing: as an observer, if I were observing you engaging someone in a back and forth, I mean, that could be entertaining.
It would be fun.
Sure, yeah, you're pretty quick with stuff.
Yeah.
But then you see some people online fighting, and you're like,
Yes.
you're too good for this. Why are
Exactly.
you? Why are
if
you
get,
bothering?
If you get too emotional or too worked up about it, then you go like, oh, you know, it's a fine line of being able to do the argument.
And also, the internet is endless. You can never really win.
You
think
never. And what are you gonna do, Paul? Can I tell you the best thing I ever saw you do, Natasha?
Yes.
You were hosting a New Year's Eve thing.
Oh,
Was it on NBC?
Yeah.
And you made a joke about old people.
It was like a very harmless
Yeah,
joke.
it was like they don't
that they
eat-
couldn't
It was
chew the
about
SpaghettiOs.
veterans gumming their SpaghettiOs. Yeah.
And
Purple Heart recipients specifically.
Yeah.
but
right,
yes.
and of course the fake outrage came and blah blah blah. And I remember you were like, I don't apologize for jokes.
But that was a different time.
Suck it. No, but
now I
that's-
think we apologize.
Oh really? Oh, never mind.
People
But
do all the time now. Yeah, everyone's like,
I
oh,
always
watch out.
think about you. I'm like, oh, that was so admirable. Oh, but you do now. Okay.
Oh, but
sorry.
wait, but the
No.
thing that's important to mention about Moshe's argument group is these are like very hard arguments. You know, like one of the things he told me, it's like someone will pose a question like, is it if you're trans, are you obligated to tell a person before you kiss them on a first date?
That was
and then you're arguing with
That's
like trans
interesting.
people, and you're arguing with other
It was an
straight
interesting
guys.
It was an
and-
interesting query. It was like the question was if you hooked up with a person, you went on a date with a person, and they were trans, but you couldn't tell. They were so passing that you had no idea. Are they morally obligated to let you know before things become physical?
What do you guys think? See,
Well-
it's like a really hard one.
It's tough. Yeah.
Because I feel like there's the right answer and then there's the truth.
Right.
Wait, which one's which?
No, you're 100%
I feel like
You mean the woke? You mean the
woke
politically
response?
correct
there's,
answer?
yes,
Okay.
the political answer is like no one is obligated. Everyone's just people, and if it was passable to you, then where is there any objection? I think the reality is that most people would want to know.
Would want to know.
And I think
would.
that because of that, I think it is kind of the right thing to do. That otherwise, there's a strong case to be made that somebody's misrepresenting themselves. And
But then they would say, the counter argument would be, how are they misrepresenting themselves? If they're saying I'm a woman and they are so convincingly transitioned that you don't know that they're a woman, what do they need to represent to you?
But they haven't always been a woman.
But
there was a change.
But
they
what
are
if you
now.
used to be like
A Republican or a
Right.
Democrat or
changed.
whatever.
right. You're not obligated to make that. Yeah, I mean,
or obese?
Okay,
or
but here's why. Because those things,
like you,
And like Natasha.
but morbidly, but because
there's a
those
strong
things,
filter on her camera.
but those things don't have an effect on other people. That's why you have to think about the.
But
other.
how does it have an effect on someone else? I'm
if
just
you're
playing
a trans,
devil's
yeah.
advocate.
So if you were once a man and now you're a woman, maybe I am transphobic. I'm not interested. I don't want to do it. I feel weird about it. I'm not evolved.
Okay,
Sorry.
This is the kind of argument. So
There you go.
I'm not making either of these arguments. Let me just counter your argument.
So go ahead.
I'll go ahead and counter your argument. So what if you're a racist and I'm an eighth black, but you can't tell? Am I obligated to tell you that I'm an eighth black?
Oh, right. But does that?
Did Tom tell you that?
she's not a
Did Tom
racist,
tell you
so
that he's Latino before you guys hooked up? That
I
must
kind of knew from his dirty last name.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I hooked up with somebody and they let me know that they were Latino, I would be like, thank you. I'm a strong racist and I'm not trying to go there.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I didn't know. And I really appreciate that. This conversation's definitely over, but
I kind of actually want to go back to your hypothetical. I
me
wonder
think
how
if
a
that's the
racist
same, though.
feels about an eighth black person.
Yeah,
You know what I
see,
mean?
I agree. That's
Because
not
I
as
feel like
strong.
even like a really racist person would be like, that's not that much.
It's not that much black.
Yeah.
See, it's different. But what you're saying is that's an eighth iteration of something. However, if you're saying
Or
I was
Jew.
black last week and then I converted to white, that's different.
how about just a Jew? How about just a Jew?
There are
Right.
people
Are you
that
obligated to tell someone? 'Cause
Yeah.
what if you're
A
like
skinhead that you're hooking up with that you're a
That's
Jew.
hilarious.
It's a
well,
real
you
dilemma.
wear that around your neck, and it lets people know. Hey,
It lets
I'm
all the
tribe.
Right, all the Nazis I fuck, they know when
Right,
they
they know they're fucking you.
when they enter me, they know who they're entering.
I can't even see your neck.
it's like the Jewish version of the Italian stallion thing that my dad wears. You know, like the Italians wear that little it looks like a sperm almost. What is that?
Oh yeah, what is the sperm? It's like a.
It's like a
Because
stallion.
Italian men love to have jizz on their chest. You guys know that, right?
I saw
What
your
is that
dad one time.
teardrop thing? You're
I
right.
saw
don't
your
know.
dad in
Johnny
a Facebook.
Legs?
Johnny
I
Legs
love
in a
Johnny
Facebook.
Legs.
Moshe says he has more pinky rings than he has pinkies.
He's
That's
about as
awesome.
Italian as it gets. They came to visit, and I opened the drawer, and I was like, there was like fresh mozzarella, prosciutto, salami, and I was like, fuck,
Roast beef.
The Italians are in town. Like, you
Yeah.
know there's
Oh,
Italians.
porcinis,
Yeah.
like those, like
I love
they're like
all
buying
that.
like appetizers, like
That's awesome.
that are just.
Do you like
stocking
the
our
Italian food or no?
Of course.
It's just too unhealthy what they eat, like cheese
Oh.
blocks and roast beef and
I eat
au
that shit.
jus and like.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff, man.
Wait, so did you take up a position in that argument?
Yeah, what did you argue?
Because I feel like you
Moshe?
probably had a strong opinion.
You don't want to say?
We'll be right back. Can I say we'll be right back? Am I allowed to do that on your show?
Sure.
Also it's private, right? That's another thing about like
All right, you don't have to say.
apologizing and all that.
I think,
no, but that's just
I
an
think
interesting.
I think what I argued, the argument I was making was kind of similar to what Christina was saying. Was like, what if my orientation? Because I mean, the cool thing about this argument group that I really like about it is you're not allowed to use sarcasm, so it takes away my biggest weepon immediately, right? You're not.
They say these are the rules.
There's rules.
Okay.
There's rules of engagement. You're not allowed to name call. You're not allowed to use sarcasm. You're not allowed to say, well, you're a woman, so you would think that. You're,
Right, insulting.
Yeah.
and-
putting you into a group that says
Oh,
you
oh,
can't have a
sorry.
reasonable argument because of who
So
you
it
are.
really becomes like an exercise in how to effectively argue.
That's exactly right. I'm a way better arguer now than I was when
That's actually very
Wow.
interesting.
But
I
the
think
thing
you
I
would
don't,
like
lo-
this.
but the thing I don't love about it is I always ask Moshe how many times do people like when he's in a heated debate with someone they never seem to change their mind.
That is true.
Right.
And I'm
It's
like
rare.
everyone's just on there stating their opinion.
Every
And-
time I've ever
I'd
changed
rather
my mind
change. Yeah.
an opinion, it's been in person.
Oh,
is that right? That's
interesting.
really interesting.
That's every time
They've had to
I've said
convince-
something like bullheaded and then I've talked to somebody and at the end of I can recall a number of times of that happening.
That's really interesting. What? What's an example of something
like
that?
black should ride the bus with us. I'm just like I'm trying to think of the most recent time. I mean, like I can think of just being in arguments with Christina, you know, like
Yeah, we're
over
pretty.
but like having disagreements and then like, you know, being like very emotional about it, right? Like a heated argument. And then after calming down, being like, no, I actually see that I see your point. I see
Right.
what you're saying.
It does
I
take-
didn't see it before, blah, blah, blah.
I feel like it's maybe a male thing that we need to like go away and go like right now. This
How
can't.
dare you gender this conversation?
I just think that men use logic and women use emotion, and men use intelligence and women use like their long hair.
They're
That's
voodoo?
all- Yeah.
I 100% was with you.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Oh, you thought
I was
the
like, oh, yeah,
the long
yeah,
hair.
yeah.
That makes
Dare
perfect
you.
sense. I think I want. Yeah, that's interesting. How often does anyone change their mind about anything?
Yeah, in the written word, it's like I don't know.
Oh,
There's this
that's
thing
just
too
anger.
that usually the only way you convince somebody to change a position is they have to feel like you're not attacking, critiquing, diminishing them
Right.
at all. So you almost have to like support their right to feel this way, and it's like there's like a savviness to convincing someone to change their position. You know,
I also find you're saying you'll change your mind in person. The other way that I change my mind is over time.
Yeah.
Right.
That's most of the time.
Experiences.
Yeah,
will change your
exactly.
mind.
Most of the time when I change my position on something that I was strongly held, it takes sometimes even years. Like I'll have I know in college I was like extremely reactionary, pro-Israel on every argument. Always, that was my default positioning. It took me 10 years to have a more nuanced view of that conflict.
Right.
And now looking back, I realized, I was just, I had built myself into an ideological corner. I was a person that defended Israel. And without looking, I would always look at every argument angling towards the one that was the most sensitive and the most forgiving of the Israeli position. And now I have a much more nuanced view on it. So
And
it
the
took a long
truth
time.
is, there's probably the truth lies in it. We're all right. You know, that's what's so great when you do like a point counterpoint and listen to like two different sides of the story. Like everyone has great points. Like we just saw what the Constitution means to me. And at the end, the lead of the play debates with an actual high school debater on the debate team if the Constitution should be abolished. And you see both sides, and it's restructured. And don't you think? Like,
right. The argument was, should the Constitution be thrown out and rebuilt because it's an archaic document that no longer applies to our contemporary life? Or should we take this document and build on it? What's the more powerful thing? Take the document and update it to be modern, or throw it out and start over?
Oh boy. That's
Well, then there's also like,
but you need to hear all the information.
Yeah, it's too much to even.
I mean, even
begin
like
that way.
I think that the more probable thing to do in something like that would be take the existing one, right? Because
that's what I ended up thinking after
Yeah.
I heard all the information, because it just seems not so chaotic. You know, at least there's like some format that's already.
Plus, societal norms change, and they have so quickly in the last 50 years, even.
Yeah.
Like, so if you change it based on today's standards, it's an infinite changing system. We'd always constantly have to be updating, right?
Oh, you'd always have to throw it out every year.
Every year, yeah.
That was what I came to, was that the fact that I don't actually have any feeling of, like, when I think of the Constitution, I'm not like, those are forefathers. I give
I
a
don't
fuck
give a
about
shit.
But
stupid
it
idiots
totally excludes
writing
women.
and
The Constitution excludes women.
Of course.
You know,
on
course.
lambskin. I give a fuck about these like pantalooned morons who threw tea into the bay.
people who are devout constitutionists.
But
and
the
you're
fact
like,
that exists, that people in this country think, it's got
meaningful
power. That means you should keep it, because anything you throw out and replace it with, people will think everyone will be like me and be like, who gives a fuck about this? Throw it
That's
out
right.
again.
Oh, boy.
Let's start over.
Right. It
Guys,
takes like a
too
real.
nuanced.
What is the like?
Oh, yeah, you guys got some videos you want to show us?
Actually, yes.
I mean, first of all, are you guys into that NRE? Are you poly?
Are we poly?
Yeah.
I am, and she's not. So it's a bit of an issue.
I mean, the whole argument of women having open relationships after they have children is funny and absurd to
Crazy.
me. It's like, you're breastfeeding at the singles
do
bar,
it. Yeah,
like
just
trying
do
to
it.
meet new
Just do
people.
it.
It's so different for a man, and it just feels so obviously sexist to me.
Do you feel?
Oh, it's obviously
happy when you know Moshe's seeing someone new.
Compersion.
And texts are coming in, and you're just like, oh my
Yes.
God, he is.
Oh yeah,
he has
it
that
makes me
rush.
cry.
I already know I know what you're queuing up,
You
by the
do?
way. I've seen it and I love it.
Isn't it just the most amazing feeling when your partner finds a new girlfriend, a new partner, and you get to just soak up all that NRE and knowing that somebody loves your other half as much as you do, and waking up, they're still asleep, and seeing their phone going off.
There's like a
knowing
lullaby
that
playing.
that's their new love.
it's our kid.
Just sending the messages and waiting for them to get up in the morning. My husband found himself a girlfriend. It's one of our best friends, and I'm so incredibly happy. I can't share this on Facebook, but I get to share it here because I just can't hold it in.
It's like,
She's so amazing, and they're so great together.
Let's
So
check
good.
back in
Seeing
2
them
weeks.
hold hands and my poly people. What's been your favorite thing?
You know what this reminds me of? Of when I was 12 years old and in rehab, and I was like trying to be a gangster, but I would be in therapy, and the therapist would like get me and be talking about like my mom, and I would be trying. I
You're
was
like,
12.
I'm so in love
I
with
would be
my
I would be
mom.
trying not to cry, but also trying to be a gangster at the same time. So they're like, oh, you know, thing is about me and my mama. The whole time she felt like she was like, if you just poked her in the belly, she would have just started weeping openly.
The first time I saw this, I did not hear one of my best friends. That's to me where it's like, okay, let's check back in a week, see how you guys are all faring.
You're all still BFFs?
One of
That
her
is so good.
boyfriends, actually, one of her boyfriends pointed out, and I'll let you guess what he looks like in a
Good-looking guy?
What do you think the common denominator is between that kind of a guy? Like if there was a certain accessory one would wear.
Is it the eyebrow ring?
Gauges in the ears?
These are excellent guesses.
Okay.
But it is, of course,
Tongue ring?
a fedora.
Oh, yeah.
Sue. One of my favorite things about being poly is just watching people minds go boo. Recently, I just got a text message featuring my girlfriend at your mom's house.
Okay.
A YouTube channel and podcast. And she just blew their mind.
Blew our minds.
They took everything they could from that video and they tried to dissect it to make it fit their narrative and their box. You know, saying she wasn't smiling right. She sounded like she was crying. Her husband must be a jerk.
You know, okay, I have a thought on this.
You broke this story, right, Christina?
I put this on my...
Oh, that's how I saw it was
Well,
from you. That's
thank you.
right.
I like to take credit. I curate these TikToks with great care.
How many hours on TikTok do you have to spend to get a gem like that?
Thank you for asking.
I hear the audio only all day and all fucking
Oh,
night.
how dare you, Christina?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
At the beginning of this podcast,
Yes.
you were lambasting my man Tom for watching like Swill in the morning.
Right.
The content wasn't up to your standards, and
Right.
this
bullshit.
is what you're
This
looking
is-
at all
hey,
day.
this
She
is-
has headphones on.
This is called making it rain, bitches. This is your mom's house content. I'm doing the Lord's work, and I curate. So actually, if it doesn't take hours, I've made my feed so efficient. I like only the craziest shit. So now my feed knows that I only like insanity. The algorithm
picks up insanity.
So you just found
It just looks for a silhouette of a fedora.
Just easy.
and just
First
shows.
5. Crazy shit pops up. Yeah.
Okay, I have a
Go
thought.
ahead.
I have
Yeah.
a thought on this.
I'm so curious.
Okay, there's a big conversation right now about Bernie Bros, right? And that Bernie Sanders has toxic supporters, right?
Oh.
Yes.
And the problem with that argument is that it's only the loudest people of any scene that make you think that's what the scene is. It's the same thing. I go to Burning Man and have for 20
I
years.
know. I've seen
right?
your Instagram
And,
posts.
and you think when you think of Burning Man person, pretty much somebody like this.
Pretty
and
much.
that's
Yeah.
because the people that are the loudest about Burning Man are the people that are the most nerdy. It's the same thing with comic books.
He's cute.
right?
What's wrong with him?
Oh,
He's
stop
proud
it.
of it.
It is. This
I'm
is an
saying
excellent
like
point.
him.
These poly people, the loudest people of talking about poly are the people that are the worst advertisement for
Have
being.
you been, Polly?
This is
No.
You guys
but
have done it.
This
No.
is
You guys have
actually
done it.
this is actually a great point you're making, because I think the same logic that you're presenting applies to backlash of anything. In other words, you know, a movie, a stand-up special comes out, and you go on Twitter and you see the explosion, right? But that's the loudest people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
everybody,
5 people.
everybody hates this special.
Yes.
No, 50 people with really loud Twitter accounts hate this
Exactly.
special. So this level of polyamorous people, this is probably these are the activists.
Yes.
So of course they have fedoras. You know,
Yeah.
of course they have that.
Honey,
weird
wear your
skull
fedora.
medallion.
He looks
Dude,
cute.
you could get that. You could rock that medallion.
I've probably seen that medallion at Burning Man.
You probably have.
I guarantee this guy goes to Burning Man.
He and he tell
yeah.
he actually has a good. I'll say this: he has a good disposition.
Yeah.
He actually ends up saying, you know, that he enjoys it because we are talking about.
You know,
it.
they're making fun of your girlfriend, her husband, putting, you know, this whole community down. And I'm like, dude, whether they're talking good about us or they're talking bad about us, they're still talking about us.
He knows his angles.
yeah. He's got the
knows.
camera angle.
He definitely knows.
You think he likes eating pussy? No, I'm kidding. He does. He
Well, it's
definitely
funny
does.
he
that-
likes eating his
Wow.
wife's
Definitely
friend's
does.
pussy.
There's no flavor like my wife's
He
best
won.
friend's pussy.
He's fucking a girl and her best friend, and she's
That's-
like really happy about it. He's got sex
You know
power.
who
He
misses
does.
eating pussy, Natasha?
Who?
This is a message for all the ladies out there. My 5th video of the day. I want to go down on you. My last girlfriend was so self-conscious, she didn't really go down on her very much. I'm the first girls I've been with, the first 2, loved it. The 3rd one, I did it for some reason. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I miss that. I miss that. I miss that. I miss that.
Maybe it's because
Oh
he thinks
my
pussies go
God.
sideways.
Right, that's what I was thinking. It's this.
I figured
Yeah.
he just put her on her side. You know?
He turned
Yeah.
He looks like he would bring a glass of Merlot with him to like lick her pussy, like, and just kind of wash it down. Enjoy the experience, savor it.
I like that it's his 5th video of the day.
Yeah.
Manic,
He's
yeah.
at a shooting range.
I was wondering. Those are those gun.
And also the energy's pretty manic. I like that. I miss that. Like, I don't know who's
Honestly,
gonna let you eat their pussy.
I think he'd be pretty good. I think he'd be pretty
You
good.
do?
Why is that, Natasha?
Seems
Like,
active. He's got a strong tongue. He's like
He'll be grateful. He'll be
eager.
grateful.
good energy.
Very grateful when
And
he
I will
gets down
say,
there.
I don't like the bearded gent before because then, all the juices in the
Right.
beard.
Ugh.
This way you guys
Hey.
can make out after.
Oh,
It's
I'm not trying to kiss him after, but I would let him lick my pussy. For
You would
sure.
let this
Yeah.
guy
This
lick your
guy.
pussy? Wait a minute. This is so disrespectful to me. By the way, we need to call the gun range. This is not a person that should have a gun or
At
be anywhere
all.
near weaponry.
At all.
I miss that. But you know what makes it feel better? Good. Let's go to the mall.
Oh my God, this dude is definitely should be on a watch list.
Yeah.
I miss that. I miss that. I miss that. I
Yeah.
miss that.
Oh my God.
He goes to the mall. He's like,
Boom, boom.
I hit that. I hit that.
Dude, and again, I just shouts out to him for putting it out there. The big thing is when you want to eat some pussy, you need to tell the world.
Right.
you know?
Broadcast it.
Don't keep it inside.
When we were young, I mean, how sad was that? When we were young and we wanted to eat pussy, there was no YouTube for us to go to.
Can you imagine how mortified
sad,
you would be
yeah.
of your YouTube account?
Oh,
unreal.
You especially, weren't you more of a deviant in your younger?
I was a sexual deviant?
Yeah.
I was definitely a slut.
Yeah.
In fact, when Natasha and I first got together, she's my first long-term monogamous relationship, and I can I tell this story? I pitched early on in our relationship because I wasn't used to monogamy. I pitched that what if I were to hook up with girls just at Burning Man? What if I could have just like a week off? And
I'm sure that went over really well.
it was intense.
Yeah.
Natasha was kind of like silent for a while, and then she was like, "I need to think about that." And I didn't hear from her for a week. And I thought our relationship was right in the beginning.
Wow.
Wait, how long?
To be honest, I don't remember this.
Really?
Wow.
You don't remember?
Really?
It was a big moment for me.
Yeah.
That seems like it would be burned into your head.
Yeah, I'd remember this.
I was wearing the fedora at the time.
Maybe she's like, that was a different guy, right?
I said I'm not going to talk to you for a week.
No. You said I need some time to think about that. We weren't living together or anything, and
We didn't talk for a week.
I didn't
like we
hear
were in a
from-
fight or something.
I just didn't hear from you for probably a week, 5 days.
She was mad.
And
Yeah,
I thought it was over. I really thought.
And
that-
then did we ever discuss it again?
yeah, we got back together. We got married eventually. Yeah.
We have a kid. No, but do you remember? So do you remember the conversation after you guys spoke?
I do. I remember it really, really
I just
well.
remember him. Here's why I don't quite remember it. I just remember him in general being kind of immature. So
Right.
I was just
All right.
kind of like,
or different.
yeah.
Right.
He had never had a girlfriend.
Right.
So it's like he didn't really get it. You know what I mean? Like,
To my
he
credit-
just needed to be.
I was trying monogamy, going like, well, maybe this is a kind of thing. Would this
Sure.
work? Like I literally didn't know better than to not have that conversation.
Right.
You know,
No, I got
I was
you.
so new, and I
You
was
didn't
like,
know.
I was like, would this work? And she went away for like a week, and I thought, fuck, I fucked it up. Like we're done. And she came back. It was actually, to me, it was very powerful. I get that it was imminently forgettable for you and not a big, but it was a huge moment for me.
I was just busy for a week. I was like shooting a show or something.
She was like
you know?
fielding offers for stand-up. And she said something to the effect of, I understand that for you, sex is less meaningful, that you could. I acknowledge that you could go to Burning Man, hook up with someone, come back and still love me, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal for you.
Right.
But for me, when I hook up with someone, it's got to have, I have to be into that person. And so I have one of two choices. One is sitting at home waiting while you go fuck people at Burning Man for a week, which
Yeah.
seems like shit. Or the other is to go pursue people that I'm going to fall for. And that also, do you want that? Is that something that you want? And I was like, I heard it. And
Was this in the Facebook argument group?
Wait, were we in the hot
very
tub
logical.
when I said this? I feel
Yeah.
like I remember this now.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe
Pretty
we're-
good rebuttal.
It is
on
a
that.
really
Yeah,
good
that was
rebuttal.
really good.
I didn't even think of it as a rebuttal. I felt like, honestly, not to get too sincere, I felt like heard, and I also felt like acknowledged that I had these desires, or that I was new to monogamy. And then I also heard her argument was like, that makes total sense. And I felt like, thank you for considering it. And we've been monogamous ever since.
Wow.
And
That's
every-
why going away by yourself can actually, now I'm starting to remember all of this. I think that it can like just having space.
Yeah.
You can sometimes think that's why in the moment I never like having like he's so good in the moment, but I need time.
And
to,
for
like,
me,
think
like
about what I think.
Since that conversation, I've kept every affair I've had at Burning Man secret.
That's really great.
She didn't want to know.
That's great.
She didn't want to know, and I heard
And by
that.
the way, that
I
is
was able to hear that.
actually that's showing you huge respect.
Yes, absolutely.
To keep it to himself.
That's how much I love you. I don't tell you about
Do you
them.
use condoms or no?
At Burning Man?
Yeah.
They're not allowed.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. They're not natural because you can't leave it on the playa
That's
or
right.
whatever. Yeah.
They're not allowed. You have to fashion one out of the dust.
Right.
Yeah, you just cake your penis in
If
dust.
you ever choose to meet another suitor, I think I have the guy.
Women, let's cut to the chase here. Women should clean up. Not only should women clean up, women should clean up unprompted. And I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, okay. Snake arm.
It's very, very simple. We live in a world where things need to be fair, 50-50, gender equality, blah, blah. I pay for things unprompted. You don't have to ask me to pay for shit. If we go for dinner, I'll get my wallet out, pay at the end. Don't even check the price of the bill. My card always works. Unprompted. If you're with me, your life is effectively free. Everywhere you eat, everywhere you go, where you sleep, you ain't paying for shit. You ain't getting in my car and I'm asking you for motherfucking gas money. No, I pay for everything.
That's what's up.
Instantly, as a man should.
Hell yeah.
Yep. So
wait, is this guy from Birmingham, Alabama, or Birmingham, England?
It's
Like,
a-
what is happening?
It's a very interesting case. He was born in the UK, I believe, lived here, has gone back and forth. I think he's a British national, but he spent a lot of time in the
Does
States.
he have 6 fingers too? Oh, sorry.
Honestly, aside from his kind of like old school views on gender equality, his vibe is very attractive.
Yeah.
Other than just his stuff about men and women, the way he says things makes you want to be with him.
Look how
I'll
clean
pay-
his
I'll pay
house
for
is.
Everything.
Oh, that's a green screen.
I think it's a green screen.
Oh,
It's
it is?
yeah, we figured that out later. Yeah.
Well, you can also hear that echo doesn't sound natural for a room like that. You
I
know?
want to see where he lives. See, he's not. He if he was living in here, I'd be a little more impressed.
He could fuck us all up. He's a world-class kickboxer.
Is that true?
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
Oh, I like him. I think he's cool. He seems cool. He seems like a cool guy.
Is he
Respect.
a kickboxer?
Yes.
He's really cool.
Now, when I say this, girls go, well, I don't like cleaning. No problem. If you don't like cleaning, how about this? I'll clean. And when I say I'll clean, I mean I'll hire someone else to clean.
Okay, man.
I'll get the
My
house
card
clean.
always works.
And you pay for everything. How about that? Oh, no, you can't do that either, can you? Because you're a fucking moron. And you realize that making money is much harder than getting some fucking dishes.
Who is he talking to?
There's a lot of women that have heard it.
Yeah.
His mommy.
Mom, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would someone put this online?
Voluntarily?
Did he
To be on our show. Don't you get it?
Now, the only water I drink is sparkling water because sparkling water is for rich people. I'll tell you why. You can get non-carbonated water, still water, from the fucking tap. The government gives you that shit effectively for free.
Sam Tripoli over here.
Sparkling water you have to buy. So if you only drink sparkling water, you only drink rich man's water. I explained this to someone, some bumbacla, and of course he replied with the typical, but I don't like sparkling. You don't like sparkling water? You don't like water? Yeah, but the bubbles. The bubbles? You scared of bubbles, you little bitch?
I'm coming onto this guy's team a little
Right?
bit.
Well, guess what? We have a new video. These are from the vault. He has a new video out. And we're really excited to check it out.
So today's topic is girls who are baffled by cheating.
By what?
Every day I
Cheating.
see
Oh,
on
cheating.
Facebook, I'm looking for a particular post. I'm looking for those fucking bimbos whose man cheated on them. And instead of sitting there like a good woman, looking in the mirror and saying, my tits are a little saggy and I don't listen enough, of course that's why he cheated.
Wait, what are the dog pictures behind him? The aggressive dog
It's a new
stuff.
room. I don't know.
But honestly, he's
Instead,
not.
they want to
He's
go
not
on
wrong.
Facebook and go,
He's not wrong.
I've studied this actually. I have a degree in psychology, and they say that about 72% of infidelity in a relationship when it's male generated is due to saggy titties. That's
Saggy
actually
titties,
yeah. That's just clinical.
And I don't listen.
Yeah, not listening.
Yep.
I don't listen. No.
men are the enemy, men are pigs. Why did he do it? I can't believe he did it. I'm so confused. What are you confused about, bitch? When's the last time you cooked him dinner? Do you suck dick on demand? Yes or no?
Wow.
Do you obey?
This guy's so cool.
Is he real? This can't be real.
He's real.
I think it is.
This
Really?
dude's out there every day fucking working, and he comes home to hear bullshit from you. And then you are the only female on earth he's allowed to have sex with. And when he wants sex, you don't want it.
So he has to go through his life sexlessly because you're a fucking frigid ass hoe and you're confused he cheated. I don't understand why. I understand why. Because you're a fucking piece of shit. Look after your man better. Maybe he won't fucking cheat.
Now there's a cool guy.
So
this reminds me of a conversation you and I had recently.
What is his? I just don't understand what is wrong with him.
I think there's a little bit of
performance.
Yes. So in other words, I think he's leaning into being
It's
being
Tom
provocative.
Leykis's.
Yeah.
Remember Tom
Right.
like dump that bitch.
Yeah, Tom Leykis. Totally.
Yeah, it's that shtick, and he's kind of remixing it.
Is that his Twitter right there?
Oh,
yeah. Oh, this thing was hilarious. He posted this. This guy went kind of viral. Never seen Star Wars.
I've seen this
remember
one.
that?
Yes.
This is him. Never will. Oh my God, you're missing out. Maybe you're missing out on being a multimillionaire. Keep your movie. And then he's standing in front of a Bentley.
At a Bentley
At the
dealership.
dealership.
I might add.
Yes.
It doesn't quite suggest he drives a Bentley.
No.
Right.
And the plate says TB sexy.
Tuberculosis sexy. Yeah.
Wait, he's someone that men can subscribe to
Yes.
learn.
Probably.
Yes, they can. You can sign up for his.
He has a webcam
classes and
company.
everything. Yeah.
And his name's Mr. Plenty.
I think
like it.
Yeah.
But he's also a world champion kickboxer.
He was. He's no longer
Wow.
competes, but he was. Yes.
That is kind of cool to be that big of an asshole, and then no one will ever say anything to you.
Moshe has told me this tweet you just pulled up. He has told it to me so many times.
Which one?
I'm like,
The other one?
I haven't.
I go, stop telling me that. You said, yeah, like they always say, what is that thing?
I say, show me a. I don't want to say it. Show me a beautiful woman. I'll show you a man who's tired of fucking her. Is a saying that I
Right,
heard.
but he's saying it like he thought of it, and you've told me that so many times. I'm like, he definitely thinks that about me.
No, I
The woman you're obsessed with.
We're on
is
like the
what?
seventh time
Is
he's
fucking some guy.
How long have you guys
who's
been
bored
together?
of her.
don't. 7, 8 years.
Oh, so you're at the 7-year itch. Isn't that a thing? I don't know.
But I had the 30-day itch.
You were like.
That was our first conversation about Burning Man. No, I don't feel a 7-year itch. I've gotten clicked in.
You dialed into it.
I'm in.
Plus, you have a child. It's different when you're a family. It's like who has time to cheat and be in polyamory when you have kids?
Men.
Yeah.
Because the woman just naturally takes on a little bit more of the childcare duties, even if it is like getting the nanny and scheduling everything.
It
and
is.
You're just, as a woman, way more absorbed. I don't know, my experience.
No,
I
me
feel
too.
like-
I'm the head of the fucking house, the in-house house.
Oh, you guys. Well,
It's true. Women take. When's
don't
the
have
baby's next
time.
doctor appointment? Go.
It's later this year.
Okay.
You want to ask me?
Yeah. When's the next physical? When is it?
I don't care, you fucking hoe. You bumperclat complaining saggy titty hoe. You come to me, I wanted to blowjob on demand. That's what the doctor. How about a head doctor? When is the head doctor appointment?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That right there.
'Cause he makes money all day, bitch.
You know what?
day,
You know who I
bitch.
am, bitch? Mr. Plenty.
Did your card ever get declined?
Never.
There you go.
What was it? Somebody said.
Somebody
Oh my God,
commented
so
under
funny.
that video. The first when he's like, my card didn't get. He's like, yeah, it's called overdraft protection.
These
shit.
aggressive dog photos. I'm not feeling it.
It's probably
so
a set
weird.
as well, though, no?
Yeah, it doesn't. Maybe.
It feels odd. No, it looks
No?
like a more like a real setting, but
But it's still not very ornate. Like
Also-
it's not good.
His whole philosophy seems to be directed at one person.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
angry.
yeah, yeah.
It seems like he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And
feels
another
very
thing.
personal.
Another thing, Diane.
this is all for Diane. Everything.
100%, Natasha. I think you hit the nail on the head. This is an ex-girlfriend.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
some girl fucked him up big
Right.
time. Someone had NRE with a different guy. You know what I mean? She left him for his friend.
NRE, Tosh, do you know what that is? It's
new relationship energy.
Yeah, yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
It sounds nice. Diane, you have saggy titties. You specifically. Your titties sagged.
And she never cleaned.
No.
He's so mad at her.
Didn't fucking listen.
She didn't listen. She
Didn't
didn't give him
blowjobs
blowjobs on demand.
Yeah. This guy's gonna be like 80 when he's gonna be like,
Oh.
I feel like Diane knows now.
Yeah.
All
What
this
is that
shit.
even? How do you even ask for a blowjob on demand? Like, how would you
Well,
even?
you don't ask. Let's start there.
Oh.
You come
Like
home.
a push.
Oh.
They push your head down.
You come home after having made a bunch of money, and you go,
Yeah.
I demand a blowjob. And then if they don't give it to you, you're like, you saggy titty bitch, and you
And
go
then
fuck
out.
somebody else.
Like
and
he
you're
just
out.
shows me the check.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what to do,
Tom,
bitch.
when you go on the road, you come home with Publishers Clearinghouse checks from the venue.
They gave me one at a venue.
Oh,
One of the
really?
venues was like
A big check?
Yeah, and it was in the office. Like I go back to the
Yeah,
office.
so
and
It's like you'd want that on the plane.
And then they go like, "Hey, we made this for you. Like here's," and they wrote out the actual amount and everything on it. And I was like, "Okay, cool. Can I get the real
regular
one?
check?"
And then they're like, "Yeah." And then she like puts it on the wall. I go, "Hey, aren't you gonna have like employees like come back and see this and feel weird about seeing, like the money written?" She was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think about that." I
Was
like,
it
"Yeah,
your actual amount on it?
Yes. Yes. I was like, erase this.
That
like,
is very funny.
It's very bizarre. Yeah.
Bizarre.
Very bizarre. I don't know what this is. This is somebody in a grocery store. Is that where this is happening? The guy calling out behavior?
I hate to leave this guy.
Yeah, I know. This guy is really fantastic.
Have you ever had a boyfriend this horrible? Like back in the vaults, back in your 20s?
No, I had some horrible boyfriends though.
Yeah, like what's the worst piece of shit you dated? What did they do?
Don't look at me, bitch.
I mean, this actually goes further.
What else we got?
Can we, I mean, I'd like to hear him a little more.
In all cheating scenarios, 100% of the blame is always on the female. Yeah, I said it. It's true. 'Cause if you looked after your man properly, let me tell you something. Men are a lot more lazy than you give us credit for.
What a weird point.
That is a good
He
point.
seems like he's having a mental
awesome.
break.
Yeah.
We can't be bothered to go out there, find some bimbo, talk shit to her, take her for dinner, buy her some shit, listen to her opinions on fucking her favorite dog breed, and scroll, oh yeah, your Instagram filter.
It's a
yeah, I'll take
specific
pictures.
person.
Men,
It
we don't want to
is.
do none of that. We do it because eventually there's some sex at the end.
Right.
If you gave him enough sex at home, he's not going to bother with that shit. Why am I going to talk to this bitch? My bitch already sucks dick. I don't need to. If your man's cheating, it's because you ain't looking after him right. So stop the confusion. Stop being baffled. I'm telling you right now why he did it.
No.
Fucking look
Go
after
back.
yourself.
Go back.
Last thing-
Go back. You see the veneer start to crack. He was about to laugh at his own.
Oh, okay.
If you gave him enough sex at home, he's not going to bother with that shit. Why am I going to talk to this bitch? My bitch already sucks dick. I don't need to. If your man's cheating, it's because you ain't looking after him right. So stop the confusion. Stop being baffled. I'm telling you right now why he did
See?
it.
He's not real. This guy's no gangster. He probably is married. He probably comes home and is like, honey, I did a great video today.
Yeah.
Inspired by you.
I don't know. He seems, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
If your man does cheat, the most stupid thing you can do is leave him. You're going to leave the man you love, the man you were head over heels in love with. You're going to leave him and find another man who you don't love, who's still going to cheat on you because you're still a trash bitch.
Okay, now he's making an appeal to. See, in my argument group, we would call that an appeal to logic, and that actually does make sense. There's some sense to that.
Right.
You leave the guy you like, you go to the next guy. You're a trash bitch,
Well,
so you're going to get cheated on. 'cause you're a
Assuming
trash-
the premise is it's the woman's fault that a man cheats, therefore all men will cheat if you're a piece of shit bitch.
Well, let me
so
just,
he's right.
Let me ask this one question: if she goes to the other man, are her titties going to get perkier, or are they still saggy?
Still saggy.
They still saggy, so
Still
there's
saggy.
nothing that can be done. He's going to cheat again.
She should wear a shirt that says "Still Saggy," because that's what's up with every bitch.
I dated a guy once, and I
Yeah,
remember
it's
he when he got mad at me, I think I might have cheated on him, but he was like, I can't believe you moved to Hollywood. That's all Hollywood needs is another 26-year-old with eye bags.
Whoa.
Wow.
Or crow's feet.
Crow's feet?
Yeah, and I was like so young.
26.
26
You
you were
did
like,
not.
God.
Stunning.
You had crow's feet when you were
dare they?
26?
I can't. I mean,
no. Oh, no.
I had a boyfriend call me
Raw.
fat when I was like 21. I maybe weighed 120 at
He
the
was
time.
like, "You're fat?"
Yeah, he's like, well, you're not exactly as thin as you used to be or something. And I was like, I was literally just like a rail back then. I was like,
So he was just trying to
So wait,
find
that sounds
something.
like he was saying something back to you.
yeah, I don't remember. I think I was, I don't remember.
Yeah, did you notice that though?
But I didn't say that I thought he
He's
was
like,
fat.
well, you're not exactly.
I know, but I'm trying to think of
What mean shit
No,
did you say?
I don't think I was being mean. I think it was like I don't remember.
What's the
It was
meanest thing
so
you've
long
ever said
ago.
to an
Tom?
ex?
Oh,
or to Tom?
Fuck. I mean, come on.
Do you
How
have
much
it?
time
Does,
do you have?
does anything stand out?
On deck? I can be vicious, right?
Yeah.
I can be a mean old bitch if I want.
But do you try to like
I go for the weakness.
You would
Do you really?
you would like make fun of his physicality?
No.
I had a girl
That's
once.
Women fun of
low.
your physicality?
Like if you were mad at him.
No.
I don't feel like that comes up. No.
I had a girl once tell me I used to look kind of a lot wilder, like I was like a kind of a hipster to the nth degree. I kind of look like Judah Freelander actually. This is before comedy, and a woman told me I can't let you meet my father looking like that, and it was the most hurtful thing I'd ever.
Oh, geez.
And then I took the cubic zirconia studs out and got a haircut and was like, I need to make some changes around here.
So that was really hurtful, though.
Oh, it hurt bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was terrible.
Wait, do you really not remember what you said to this guy?
I was 21 years old. I remember this. We were driving around San Francisco in North Beach, and I was wearing like denim overalls. It was the 90s. And I just come back from Australia, and I had been eating McDonald's like every day.
Yeah.
So I had gained a little bit of weight.
Sure.
But I don't remember what prompted him to say, I think we were falling apart. The relationship wasn't doing so well.
All right.
And I think he kind of blamed my fatness for it.
But you're saying you weren't fat, you were skinny.
A girl, compared to now, like, yeah, no, I wasn't fucking fat. I weighed 120 and I was 21 years old, and I'm 5'7".
So he was trying to intentionally hurt you.
Well, let me ask you this.
I was skinny.
What was up with this area in your face? Were there any crow's feet or eye bags at all happening with
Yes.
either area?
Oh, yeah, since I was 5.
But you think of like your meanest thing.
To you? I don't fuck. Come on. I mean, we've said crazy shit to each other in 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm one of those
I
people
block it out, though.
I'll say, me too, but sometimes I'll say mean things, but accident. Like I didn't think it was mean.
She told me the other day.
Inadvertently mean?
I was in the bathroom the other day, and the kid was having a bath, and she's like, "You can go." And I was like, "What do you mean I can go?"
Oh, yeah.
And she was on her phone, looked up from her phone, and was like, "You can go if you're gonna text." I've never had that happen before. A person on their phone talking shit about my phone use.
I was trying to bathe the child, but then you were standing in front of me on your phone,
But she was on the
blocking
phone.
my view of my child.
Literally, her face was being glowed by the phone, going like, "You can go." And I go, "Don't talk shit about my phone use while you're on the phone."
But I was probably
And-
just texting someone. You were like in the middle of an argument.
And she said, "It's not the phone; it's your chewing and your general vibe."
Because he's on Nicorette gum, so he's like chomping, like masticating like a cow, like cow chud or whatever it's called, like in a
Cud,
cud. Is that what it is?
It's
Okay. I don't know.
Chud.
So he's just like.
Yeah, I see red when you say shit like, you know.
Oh,
like
boy.
that.
Oh yeah, that I got
when
so
she'll be
mad.
like,
He gets so mad at
and
me.
then don't forget to give her extra for the. I go, I fucking know. I
Oh,
don't
about
need
the
to-
kid?
Yeah, anything.
Oh,
like
that drives me
the
crazy.
the eighth mention.
Oh, I
and then
hate
don't
that.
forget that he has lunch.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know, I got that.
But
that
you
drives
guys
me
are
crazy.
like,
Forgotten, because
yeah.
you've
Oh yeah,
forgotten.
sure. Yeah.
You have
When?
in the past.
When?
You've forgotten to give Claudia the money
No.
for the thing. That's
No,
why
I
I
don't.
remind you 500 times.
No.
Wait,
No.
but
Why do you
Come on.
guys care that if we're taking on more of the responsibility? I'm asking you two.
It starts
Why
with-
do you care if we just give you a little reminder in case you were going to forget? Moshe loses his wallet 3 times a day.
It starts
He
with
never has it on him.
It starts with the obnoxious premise that you default assume that women always care for the child more.
It's not women. I'm just saying that's my experience.
That it's what is your experience?
That I just naturally
you-
take on a little bit more.
But you also applied it to Christina.
I
so-
do. I feel like I'm more in tune with the day-to-dayness of the children's existences.
Tom?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, this is honestly this
I
kind
mean,
of
it's
talk.
not all women, but it is like a lot of the ones I talk to
Tom,
have the same experience.
Back me up on this. This
Yep.
kind of talk is the reason we cheat.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the reason we cheat.
Because
This is
Less,
it.
You know
less
what?
complain, more
You
blowjob.
two are so fucking lucky to even be in a room with us.
You like your
Yes,
life, Jenny?
You know what I
yes.
mean? Yeah, you just keep spitting that stupid shit, and you'll find out what fucking happens.
Yep.
So you find it like
Wow.
enters the realm of nagging when we
No.
like tell you a bunch of times.
It's not nagging. It's the assumption that we're so stupid that we would kill our own child if not for the reminder that you swooped
It's true.
in.
It kind of feels like I feel when I'm spoken to like that I'm a child and like a shitty condescending teacher is telling me
Well,
something.
see,
Yes.
but that's
You know?
interesting because I don't say it to you in that tone. It literally is.
Don't you fucking talk to me like that.
Yeah, I don't do like that. I literally go, Jeans, don't forget, today's the
Yeah.
day you have to pay Claudia. Like when I'm typing it to
Yeah.
you or telling you, I go, Jeans, don't forget to do this. It's neutral. But you hear it as mommy telling you you're stupid. You don't, whatever it is.
You call
hear
him Jeans?
all
Yeah.
the time.
I don't
Aw, that's
think it's
cute.
always neutral. I think you might think it's
Jeans,
neutral.
don't forget to pay blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think you're isolating one way that, sure, sometimes you say things neutral, sometimes you don't say things neutral.
Here's the thing we have to remember, you guys.
Yes.
Because you know, we study relationships because we study our own and we talk about it on our podcast, is that we have to, together, we're a team.
Yeah.
And like some of us are better at certain things than others. Like that's what I was trying to think. Like Moshe's so good at cooking. I was like, I want him to start doing more of what he's really good at. Like I'm way better at scheduling. He loves to do all the driving. Like just like maybe letting him do the thing. Like I don't know. Together, we're trying to do it.
You know, Tom's good at taking out garbage and stuff.
That's good.
You're
That's
one of the
important.
best. You're one of the best. No, you know what a team.
I'm good. I'm going to bring them back in too. I bring in the cans.
One of the things that a team has, one of the classic things that a sports team has, is a guy that goes out and finds new players to join the team, right? A recruiter. He has to go around the country.
It's a year-long job.
It's a hard job, and it's a vital to put new energy, maybe new relationship energy, back into the team.
100%.
Yeah, a recruiter, if you will. Go to Burning Man once a year and just see what kind of talent is out there.
That's right.
Oh,
what's up, Coach?
Here's a new job I've given Moshe. And he hasn't
don't
quite
give me jobs.
He hasn't quite accepted that this is his responsibility. But like I schedule the nanny. You admit that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So like a job that I want him to do is like log on for all of our flights and print out get all the boarding passes, do all of that, like get it all ready, check us in early. Like that drives me
You assign
crazy.
that.
I'm like, can you just always be in charge of that?
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I didn't mind it until I realized right now in this moment that she had assigned me with that job.
Yeah.
Like when she asked, will you check us in? I'm like, it's all good. But now that I realize she's like, a new job that I've given the boy is he's in charge of that. I didn't like.
It feels bad.
It didn't feel good. It didn't. I don't think Mr. Percy or whatever his name is would be accepting
he
shit
would
like
slam
that.
her so
I'm
hard.
just saying, I'm trying to find the
Check
things
in your
you're
own
good
flight, you
at.
saggy titty bitch.
Okay, our daughter just had a birthday party. Who planned most of the party? Who got the cupcakes, the food, the invite?
Wait, Christina, did you just move over there? Oh, this is so weird. It's like
the entertainment.
it's like you're saying the same thing.
I know. Who planned Christmas party this year for those Seguras? All 18 of them. Who planned that party?
But you let them put the chips in a bowl and they think that they did the whole thing.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! It's so funny because when this guy came on,
This dude, I know.
when
now.
he came on, I was like, what a caveman regressive asshole. I'm so grateful to be enlightened.
Now you're talking to one woman.
and now I'm like, you know what?
This
This
dude knows what's
kickboxer
up.
knows what's happening
He does
in the
know what's
world.
up. Yeah, I'm 100% on board with him. Much more so than I was.
Yep.
Like 20
But
minutes ago.
I want to be able to do that, and I want to have control of that, and I want to have control of the schedule because I'm just like better at it, and I feel like I can
Same.
do so many things at once, and like I'm totally fine taking that on. But then there's some things that I want you to do.
Mm-hmm. There's some things I want you to do. There are. Like get railed by like 9 dudes at once while I watch. That sounds cool.
Sounds
That's
awesome.
what I'm into.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
Is that
why
something
can-
you'd really want?
No,
Why
that's
can't you
no, I
not
don't
do
think I
that for
could.
him?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why can't you?
As long as he checks us into our Southwest flights,
while
make
it's
sure we're
happening.
not in Group C. I'm fine.
I half like this dude. He's banging my fucking best friend. At least I love him. He cheats on me, but I love him and I stick by him anyway. Now you're starting to fucking sound like a real woman. Sort your shit out. Get fucking
Okay,
manicure.
I can't. It
Stop
hurts
typing
now.
on Facebook.
I think my stomach hurts watching
It's
him.
a bit much.
It's a lot.
It's hurting me.
You guys have HBO?
Yeah.
You ever seen Pissspots?
No.
All right, we're back for another episode. I'm at Greenwood Liquors in the back parking lot. I'm gonna do this. Australian for gear.
For gear.
And then we got 99 peach. Let's do this.
Schnapps?
Yeah, so this guy, he started a new YouTube series called Pissspots, and he drinks and then he drives, and then he parks and then he goes, I peed here, and it's a good spot to piss it.
This is on HBO.
Natasha.
I thought you said earlier.
He did. I think he was doing a bit. I think he was doing a bit.
I mean, I didn't.
No, but you're right. They are very progressive. They do all kinds of cool shit, imaginative.
But I get Natasha's point. Some of
I
these
never
are
heard
very
of it.
fascinating.
I
This
know.
should be on HBO because
should
we're
be.
hooked. We're on episode 4 and it's great.
Do
Yeah.
people sometimes make content for you and send it? Do you ever
Yeah.
get the impression? Do you ever
Yeah.
think like a guy like this, like your podcast is gonna like cause someone's death like Pissspots. I'm driving on Mulholland here. Hold on, and then he just careens off. And
Not
then,
until you mentioned it.
Let's see
Thanks.
what else we got in the bank here. This guy, he did Pissspots 1 and 2.
Sure.
And then he didn't post for 8 months. I thought naturally jail.
Okay, yeah.
But then when we played them, he was like, I'm back. So now he's doing like weekly episodes. He's really putting the content out there again. So.
Pissspots.
But he also likes to show us which containers he's urinating in and how.
Yeah.
Wait, he's driving drunk?
Yeah.
Well,
he just like downed something quickly.
yeah, he's like
in a parked car.
usually he's in a car, or sometimes he's been in a car, and then he's like, I'm on the side of the
highway.
Yeah,
It's also funny, like, you
He's
don't
a
have to
professional.
drink alcohol to piss.
Very true.
Nah.
You could just drink water and then...
Or coffee.
Right, like
tea.
you piss probably every day, right?
Every day. Almost every day.
Do
Almost
you
every
think
day.
that the internet is making people start to feel that if people don't know who they are, they don't exist?
No, that's an interesting
Because
point.
it feels like everyone wants to be noticed now, even
Everybody
for something
does.
really negative.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little scary.
And the
mean-
dumbest of the dumb are usually they want to get noticed the most.
I mean, maybe this is a passion. of
Foxes
his.
is so bad. All right, you know what? I'm gonna piss my pants.
Yeah.
Oh, he does it in his pants?
Well,
I thought he was going to pull it out.
Usually.
Yeah, have her down.
Yeah.
Does he film while he pees?
Yeah.
Oh, so you get to hear it.
You get
I
sometimes.
You get to
Yeah.
hear the that hot piss hit the
People
ground.
pulling into the parking lot.
Is he going? Oh, he's going in the parking lot.
He can never have kids. They're going to be like, oh, that's the piss guy.
Oh, that's Piss Dad.
Yeah, 3/4 for shark.
By the way,
Throw fuck up.
I love that he really upped the production value for episode 4. Some of the other ones you could see clearly
Well,
now, not so much.
You know what? I think this show has jumped the shark. Because last week on Pissspots, he peed in his favorite spot. It was his room. And
Yes.
then he showed us with the lights on how to pee inside of a beer bottle and how to get your piss inside a tinier opening than the width of your
Do you
penis.
have to look at his penis?
No.
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 But
You can.
I just feel like the last episode was more informative
Well-
and better lit. And this episode, I'm not really following what's happening.
Have you ever
Yeah.
pissed in like a cup or a bottle?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah. You have?
Of course.
You really?
I'm a
How?
savage.
I
on the
pissed in a
road.
cup like
See?
5 weeks ago.
Really? You didn't tell me about this. Where?
Where?
In my hotel room because my baby was sleeping in the bathroom and I had brought
Was
her
I
on
there?
the road.
Yeah.
No, obviously not. I would not have done that in
You just
front
didn't
of
want to
you.
wake her up.
I didn't want to wake her up.
Sure.
And
So
you know
you
they have
pissed-
those little paper cups that have the plastic. So
Yeah.
I took the plastic off and
Even
then
that?
You pissed in a cup?
I mean, it was either that or have the baby cry, and then I have to wake up early because
Yeah.
she, like, you know,
Huh.
didn't get her
I would
full
do
sleep.
it. I would do it.
Go ahead. I
You
know
think
something's
that's
on your
gross?
mind.
Oh, it's shocking to me.
I mean, I didn't drink it.
This picture of Ooh, if you had drank it though. See, that's the thing. That's what she doesn't do while I'm in the room because I'll have to go at
You
her
would have
immediately.
totally done that.
I
You
would-
wouldn't have pissed in, like, if there was a sink that was
No,
low.
I would piss on the baby. That's what I would do. No, I would have pissed in the bathroom. I wouldn't.
You'd
have,
wake the baby up.
I'm not
and
afraid of
it's-
waking the baby up. This is the thing about women. They're so you're so worried about the baby that you end up doing things that are unnecessary. A baby can sleep through me peeing next to it.
But they have she has woken up before from someone peeing and flushing the toilet or whatever, you know?
I wouldn't flush, but I would pee.
Well, I don't want to
Yeah.
leave her in like a toxic smelling
And you would have sat
small
down.
room.
I would have sat down.
So not as far, not as loud.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the difference is
exactly.
that baby wakes up and now your day is fucked. Because that's her
Exactly.
free time
What
that
do you
she
mean?
wants
It's
to
our
keep.
free time. We're
Are you
equals.
there too?
Yeah, we're equals.
But are you in the room at the same
at
time?
this- at
no,
the pee-
at this
pee in the cup?
particular incident, I'm saying. So she's probably just you're trying to preserve your
Yeah,
your
and what do
resting
I
time, too.
lose by peeing in a cup? I guess
Your
a little bit of
dignity.
dignity. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what
So-
I'm hearing from you two? A lot of this.
We'll suck your dick, Tom.
Yeah. Look, I just want to hear how he rated
Yeah,
the
how
parking
is,
lot.
how does
okay?
this episode
Jesus.
end?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, episode 4 is a quickie.
Okay.
I chugged 3/4 of a Foster's can.
Yeah.
And I had a 99 peach or grape. I don't remember which one it was.
Oh.
I give it, yes, I give it 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Piss bottles.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Piss bottles.
Where is
Cool.
he?
He's in like the New Hampshire
where is
area.
he?
Yeah, he's in the Northeast. Yeah.
Oh my
I used to pee in
God.
when I was young. I would pee in the heater because
Oh,
it would
cool.
like sizzle. But then,
Wait.
but then the whole house would smell like my piss.
What kind of heater did you have that you
we
could
had
do
like a
it?
really big. It was like a bed, like a plug-in heater, but it was giant. Growing up, it was a big one. It was like the
Like
size of like
metal?
your whole desk. Yeah, it was metal.
Oh, radiator.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Like
I
one
guess.
of these?
No, it was way bigger than that. It was like
that is way worse than peeing in a contained cup.
Yeah.
No, I know. I had mental problems. I would
Christina, you would really pee in the cup too.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Okay,
I've
good.
done it many times. I've peed in a cup in a moving car one time in his old Chevy Malibu because I was in the desert and I didn't want to pull over and I was scared because it was nighttime and I got piss all over his car seat.
You were there.
No, I was alone in the desert. I was afraid. It was come back from some gig and
You kept driving?
and I tried to like slow the car down really slow and piss.
You were driving while doing it.
Uh-huh.
You
It
know,
didn't go well.
I heard an old trick, and I've used it, which is that truckers say if you are driving late at night and you don't want to fall asleep, you jerk off. And you can't do it to completion. If you do it to completion, you'll fall asleep. But if you jerk off, it'll keep you, with the horniness will keep you awake. And I did it to great effect once.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. How long was the drive?
2.5 hours. I was actually driving from Burning Man to the Reno airport at I left at like 1 a.m. and I jerked off the whole way and I made it.
And did you finish when you parked?
I arrived alive. I think I must have.
Yeah.
You jerked off for 2 hours?
To keep myself awake.
Yeah.
I arrived because I had a gig. I remember I had a gig and I'd already been up like partying for like 4 days. So I was like afraid I'd fall asleep on the road. I got to the Reno airport, completed, went and did a college gig, flew back and drove straight back to Burning Man.
Damn,
Wow.
dude. Yeah. Dedicated.
You are dedicated.
Do they still have those types of booths at Burning Man, like orgasm for an omelet and like eat out girls? And
There was like an orgy tent.
Yeah, there's an orgy dome and there's little things like that, but it's not quite as
little
overt.
stuff.
Not quite as overt as you think. I mean, orgasm for an omelet, no one's really having an orgasm. It's really
Yeah.
just some guy in a fedora going, "Come in," and everybody saying, "No, thank you."
Yeah. That's true. And do you shower? You can't really shower at Burning Man, yeah?
No,
for those 2 days?
I have a proper.
Tell them about Dr. Bronner's where we shower.
That is pretty fun, actually. There's a camp that Dr. Bronner's
You guys
does.
would hate
The
it.
soap company.
The soap company. They're a really progressive hippie company.
Yeah.
And they're a cool company,
I like their
actually.
eucalyptus soap.
Well, I like the almond.
Mhm.
And they go out there every year. They have a big camp and they do like a big dome where they have a party and you have to wait in line. You line up for like hours to get in.
Naked.
And well, you're not in line naked. When you get into the dome, you take off your clothes and there's like a dancing situation where you're dancing naked with all these dancing
And a little
hippies.
more of a line when you're naked.
And then they line you up and they put you into this transparent like box car. And it's and then they come up on top of the boxcar and they spray you with Dr. Bronner's foam. It's like we were calling it like the fun Holocaust. It was like it felt very Holocausty, but like kind of cool and fun.
Silly.
There's techno playing, you're getting
Yeah.
clean, but it feels very like Auschwitzy because they're like spraying you down with
Auschwitzy.
Yeah,
But it's definitely the closest I've ever been to like penises that I'm not fucking.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like
that's
they're all around you.
I don't like that. And is that the only shower you're getting over 4 days? Because that playa sand is
no,
It's the only one I got.
No, I have an RV. I own an RV, and I shower in the RV.
You do your own showers
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I don't let Natasha in.
Yeah.
No, you
she
showered
stays
in
out.
you showered in my shower.
I took a shower in there,
Yeah.
but I would always like to go to Dr. Bronner because it felt.
Felt nice to have that many dicks around you. It was just a nice feeling.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's really dusty there.
It is.
You can't. Oh, have you been?
I've been there. I worked on a TV show, and I got to go inside and see.
So
what
you
the camp
felt
was
like that- okay,
I've
wow.
not participated in it, but
Wait,
I've seen the camp.
You went to Burning Man for the show?
Mm-hmm. So it was called the Hitchhiker Chronicles, and we picked up hitchhikers. And one episode is we went to Burning Man, and so they let us
Cool.
in, and I got to just drive around and pick people up and interview them throughout the course
That's
of the day.
cool.
Is
It
that
was really
out? I want to
great.
see that.
It aired a million years ago after Burt Kreischer's show on FX. It's,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
I remember
old,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
But it was cool. I liked it. I
That's
mean,
a cool
there's
experience.
Yeah, to
but
see like
that's the perfect way to
floats.
see it.
Yeah, because I wouldn't. The only reason, the deterrent for me is the weather. It's so hot.
It's gnarly. There's
And-
no question.
And sometimes it's
really
so
love it,
cold.
right?
I love
Yeah.
it.
But
You
at
love it.
night, sometimes I had like my toes were numb when I was working in the cafe at night. One of the years, like so, it's like kind of uninhabitable.
Yeah,
it gets like super
it's
hot and
tough.
then super cold some years, and it's
Do
just
you-
way too dusty.
Do you go? Wait,
The
you don't go
dust
every
is
year though, right?
terrible.
Oh no, but Moshe's already pitching it to me like now in February.
I wanna
if
bring
it's
the
okay
kid.
if he goes.
I want to bring the
Wow.
kid.
Not
A lot
this
of
year.
people do.
I think it'd
What is
You
the
want to bring
thrill?
her this year?
I'll bring her this year, next year, whatever.
What's the thrill for you there?
For me, like I think that I like extreme experiences. I like weird shit. It's why I like comedy. I like to laugh. I like things to be weird and odd people. That's why I like comedians. And it's one of the highest concentrations of like bizarre people and spectacle and things to do. Less so every year.
What do you do? What do you do there when you go?
Coke, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
No,
What do you do, Mo? Well, he works.
Well, I used to work there. I used to volunteer there for a long time.
What do you do as a volunteer?
Yeah.
I would be the person at the front gate that would check the cars as they were coming in.
Really?
Yeah, and I did that for years. I don't do that anymore, but I did it for years just to be a part of the community there, and I would we would get showers as a result of that. And we'd
That's
get
cool.
fed and stuff. But
How long ago was that though?
when I stopped doing it, like 3 or 4 years ago.
So wouldn't you have people being like, "Oh, hey, you're Moshe"?
Yeah,
Kasher?"
that's why I stopped. Eventually, it was like it just felt too weird. It was like people would start to recognize me more and more, and I was just like, because I wanted to be like a part of the community, and then when you're getting recognized, you don't feel that way. You feel like, okay, there's no point in doing this.
That's when I realized that Moshe has like a small fantasy of being a cop. Like he likes like telling people what to do a little bit, and like I don't have that at all. Like I don't want to ever tell someone they're in trouble.
I know.
That's also why I quit, because I said, well, whatever. What I do when I go there is I generally
You're like the gatekeeper.
I like to like wander around, take in the artwork, take in the spectacle of it, meet people, and just have
Sunset's beautiful if you bike around.
Just have weird interactions.
We have weird interactions, see people on the extreme fringes of life and society, and then at night we go dancing, or we'll go listen to. There's so many things to do.
And then where will you crash?
I have my RV.
Oh, you have your RV.
And can you go brown, and can you pee and poo in your RV? Because I remember there were porta potties, and that looked terrible.
Portos.
Yeah.
Oh, I would hate that.
I can go brown.
We did that though.
Yeah.
The first year I went, I had to go in the portos,
No.
and I was pregnant one year, and it was really rough.
In the heat?
Yeah.
Oh,
So wait,
Natasha.
is your RV? You own an RV?
I did it to show him I was fun.
Yeah. I own an RV, and it's the most it's literally the most important thing in my life.
Do you have people like when you're so there's air conditioning on that?
Yeah.
Do you have people when you have an RV and you're at an event like I know nothing about it?
Yeah.
Are people knocking on it like, "Hey, can I crash with you?" Is that like a
Yeah, like I brought a friend last year, and he was in a tent, and I would let him come in and shower once in a while.
You don't have people harassing you because you have the RV?
Like random people?
Yeah.
No, most people have their stuff
own situation.
situated.
Well, they spend. I mean, there's people who spend all year preparing a float, or
Yeah.
like, right? They prepare artwork that's movable and it goes along the playa. And
Yeah. Do
people
they set it
really
on fire
prepare
at the
for
end?
this.
They said like
The
like
man,
this
right?
last year there was an installation that was like it was crazy. It looked like a Peter Pan like fantasy house, and it was like 3 stories tall. It was probably 50 feet tall. I mean, it was gigantic, and there were towers. It looked like literally like from a movie set of a Peter Pan film.
Yeah.
And it was like super intricate, old like magical looking house. You climb a spiral staircase, and there'd be books up in the top little attic, and then downstairs you'd open something, and there'd be like a looking glass with it was the most fantastical thing you've ever seen. And I saw this crazy like live jazz performance in the center courtyard of this thing. I mean, it literally just looked like a castle that they had built. And at the end on Thursday night, they set the whole fucking thing on fire.
You need to look up Las Fallas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. First of all, in Spain, there's festivals every week for
yes,
everything.
totally.
But Las Fallas is a special one in Valencia, and they have these spectacular floats, and everyone's partying and the whole thing, and they all go to this one square, and then they set them all on fire. It is a spectacle.
So that I think so Europe and the old world does this better than America. The problem I have with America is that when people moved here, when immigrants moved to this country, the charge was get rid of your old archaic ways and become American.
Right.
And as a result of that, there's some positives to that. The negatives to that were that we got rid of all our rituals.
Yeah.
And you go to a place like Europe, or you go to like the old world, and there's still these crazy rituals, and that's what Burning Man. To me, there's a lot of power in that they've created this. The only people that have rituals is hippies. In American society. For all the negative things you can say about hippies, they've kind of created a worldview where they've like recreated the old rituals, like and so that to me is a big part of what's fun about Burning Man.
That's cool. I can respect that.
It's a pretty rad. I mean, it's a far out there thing, and it's nice. It's cathartic. There's that place you put, your friends who have died. You put your letters or what. It's lovely.
Tell us.
There was some Brody stuff out there.
Oh, cool.
And that I don't know who put it there, but we would walk and be like, oh my God, like
Brody stuff.
because every year the Saturday night, the big party is they burn the man, and it's the most spectacular fireworks display I've ever seen in my life by a factor of probably 100. You know, like 4th of July, it's nothing. I can't even watch 4th of July fireworks
because
anymore.
of how spectacular
it's so over the top and insane. There's gas bombs, there's like diesel bombs where like, you know, a 50-foot fireball is just like exploding, and then there's this crazy fireworks. It's a big, crazy, insane party. But Sunday night, they build this thing called the Temple, which is where people they go and they put the memories of the people that they've lost in the last year. And it's I'll tell you what's powerful about it is you see how much loss there is in a community of just 70,000 people, and then you start to realize like, oh, this is just 70,000 random people. Like everybody's experiencing this level of loss with nowhere to put it. Because we don't have ritual, because we've done away with a lot of that, we don't have anywhere to put our loss. And so you see like, wow, all this whole community is and like I said, it was a trip. I would walk into this temple and see like friends that have passed of mine, and I'm like, I wonder who put that here. And then like there was, you know, like I said, a Brody cutout, and there was like somebody had printed it up, and anyway, and then they set that on fire, and that's not really a party. That's like pretty much silent. There's a silent on Sunday night. Nobody parties. They just set this thing on fire. It's a pretty beautiful experience.
Yeah, it's nice.
That is, that's
it
something.
is nice.
Well, hearing you talk about that is nice, but I still have to say the festival has never moved me.
Right.
It's always kind of failed to like do it for me.
But that also makes sense, though, right? Like makes sense that it's like the whole thing of somebody obsessed or moved, let's say, even by a band.
Right.
And you hear it and you're like, yeah,
they're good.
They're fun.
I totally get that. It's not for everybody. I'm like an old school raver. Like that was my childhood.
Yeah,
my
so
teenage years were raves, and so to me, it's like it's a little slice of that old counterculture that I was into in the 90s that kind of doesn't exist anywhere else anymore. Because of the fucking internet.
But there is no music. Like the music at Burning Man is what's kind of annoying about it because it's all techno. It's not like it's a music festival where there's bands and stuff.
Right.
But you love that shit.
I love that shit.
Yeah. Look, this was a lot of fun. I'm so glad you guys came today. Where are you guys on the road coming
We
up?
actually are about to cancel our tour because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, we are very scared about the tour. We're doing a tour called the Royal Family Tour coming up, where we're going all over the country and to Europe. And
where are you? Where were you planning to go in Europe?
We were going to go to Dublin, Glasgow, Manchester, and London.
Awesome.
Well, maybe we should mention
Hong
the
Kong
dates
and
that we're
Wuhan.
actually and Wuhan.
But we have a whole bunch of dates. We're going to Hawaii. We're going to New York.
I don't think we're going to Hawaii anymore.
Are the tickets?
We are going to make it to Fargo.
Fargo is going to be great.
Fargo, and you know what? We're also going to make our Bakersfield.
We're going to make our Bakersfield date,
and we might go to San Diego. So
There you
check
go.
us out, the Royal Family Tour. But we will have more dates in 6 months after they sort out
where are the tickets
all this
available?
stuff with the CDC.
MosheKasher.com or Natasha.Leggero.com. And also, we talked a lot about love and relationships today. Tasha and I do this podcast where we take live relationship advice. People call in for advice. You guys could call in. Actually,
like that.
you guys could
maybe
come
you
on.
could be.
It's not a bad idea.
I would come on.
You guys want to come on sometime
And then
help
people
us
call
answer?
in and they like say their relationship issue, and you can give them
I love it.
the answer.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cool.
We'd love to have you on sometime.
I
love
would
to.
love to do that. And of course,
Oh, it's called the Endless Honeymoon Podcast. I should say that.
Yes,
right?
That's a
Endless
nice
Honeymoon
title.
Podcast. And of Christina and Natasha, I know you guys have some parting words for the audience.
He's saying we're mentally disabled.
I just thought it was fun.
Ain't that we're
Because you're women and you're
Because-
fucking stupid.
And because we handle the schedules
That's right.
and
That's disrespectful, Tom.
clean up after
Christina,
you.
do you have anything to add?
See, that's disrespectful, Tom, what you're doing.
Yeah,
I thought
so
that it was the sound of a cow, and I thought you were saying because they have those saggy titty like udders. Titty like udders. You know, I thought that's where you're going. That's more respectful.
Saggy titty, saggy titty, saggy titty, saggy titty.
That's so rude.
You have anything to say back, Christina?
I think I found this TikTok. Don't you use this against me? My own curation.
It's so fun.
You're like an art curator, but
Yeah.
you're on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll be
my
honest,
talent.
Christina,
My
I didn't
love.
tell you
This
this.
is like the
Yeah.
Tate.
As we're going, I didn't tell you this, but when we did Lights Out the other day, we were talking about the kid, and you said something to me. You said that it builds your entire DNA.
Yeah.
And then you were like, none of this matters. Nothing matters after you have everything. And it really, there was something about the way you said it that really stuck with me, and it really it moved me in a way.
good way,
in
or
a good way,
bad
in a really good way. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm having an existential crisis. I think I'm worried about death all the time lately.
I want to hear what you said, though. I don't.
Well, it was
you
just
didn't
like this
describe it
idea that,
very
like,
well.
once you thank you, once you have kids, like everything gets rebuilt, and your priorities have just been completely rejiggered, so that all this like show business and career striving and all that, who gives a shit? Who
children
fucking
are the only
cares?
thing that matter.
Yeah, and it really kind of struck me in a really good way. And it was
Does that mean you'll agree to canceling our European tour dates?
Well, it just was a trip to hear just a woman say that because of the sound effect that you made, like that. That's what I was expecting. It was more about
handbags,
yeah.
nails, wow, stupid chicks. Well, I'm glad I could affect you. That's good.
It really, honestly,
it's very
it's
insightful,
true, isn't
actually.
it? I am very insightful. I am.
No, but that is actually it is true. Like
Yeah.
you care so much about the showbiz stuff, but I think your perspective definitely changes when you have little faces looking at you. You know?
Yeah, they're most important.
And forget about the cheese, because I guess probably people are like, oh, well, that's cheesy. But there is, like, when you hit a certain age, you need something to recreate the value and meaning in your life, because it's like, is this it? Am I just gonna like look for like money and recognition only? That's what my whole life is going to be.
It becomes so masturbatory.
Absolutely.
Like my whole existence. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Another brunch.
Life
another
is
drink,
nothing
another
but a search for a new place to piss.
I'll tell you this. I'll leave you. Why don't we leave on one of Christina's TikToks?
Okay.
Why don't we leave on one? All
I'm
right.
afraid.
No, this is one of your good ones.
Okay.
All right.
All right, outlaws, listen up. What makes you all think we're related?
No, stop this. Let me see this. Listen here, motherfuckers. You've done pissed me the fuck off, and I'm already in a bad goddamn mood today. Well, little advice to those that think we're cousins. No, the fuck we're not. I'm not related to her. I'm no kin to her. And if you keep the shit up, I'm calling the fucking CEO, and every one of y'all's little goddamn accounts are getting shut down. Do I make myself clear?
Just FYI, he's Cherokee.
Stop.
I'm not native.
Stop.
At all.
She went too far.
You have a loud mouth. Well, secret's out. Fuck with us and watch what happens to your accounts. Goodbye.
I mean, they look so unbelievably related.
Oh my God. I am getting on TikTok.
It's pretty
I know.
great.
What do you go? Look at my stories.
That
man.
was
This is all I
so
do.
entertaining.
And them
You're
imagine
welcome.
if you had them on the show taking
Oh,
calls.
my God.
If you're listening,
Open
elder chief, big rig truck, monster truck boy. If
and then
you're
at
out
the
there,
end, he told her to shut up.
Oh, I love that too. He was like, he's Cherokee. He's like, no, don't go there.
You have a big mouth.
Well, and do you think he's got the CEO of TikTok's phone number on
100%.
deck?
100%.
He's got the
He's
contact
like,
info.
I got some new accounts for you to shut down today.
He seems like he doesn't have an email address.
No way.
The fact that he even knows CEO.
That there is
That's
a CEO.
true. And that they even came up with a username. A lot of these monsters only have like at
Mrs. Outlaw,
957CCC.
1999.
Yeah.
Now, is he responding to someone saying, like,
People are
have
commenting. They're commenting.
So
under.
this is like a couple that is like publicly kissing on TikTok.
Yeah.
And
Probably,
then
yeah.
people are
People
like,
are like,
oh, you guys are related.
Fucking
Yes.
your cousin?
They look so related.
Yeah.
They
So
definitely are related.
They have the same sunken eyes, and they do appear.
And let me just say this: I don't have a fucking TikTok account at all, so I'm willing to say the truth. I'm not scared, Mrs. Outlaw. Y'all are cousins. You call this any CEO you want. I don't have an account, but you are welcome on our podcast anytime.
I don't think you guys are cousins,
They're
Mrs.
gonna
Outlaw.
shut down. They're gonna shut down your Instagram. They're gonna find out.
Shut it down.
All right.
Wow.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Woohoo.
We love Brooklinen sheets. Listen, for so many years, I thought, why spend money on sheets? What's the big deal? Well, because you only spend a third of your life in sheets. Why not make them insanely comfortable? Why not get the best possible quality bedding for the best price? I'm a huge fan of Brooklinen. Their products are so clean and fresh feeling. I like to get the white Brooklinen sheets. We have them on our bed right now, along with the duvet cover. They keep you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. I love this company because they're founded by a husband and wife team, much like your jeans here. They were the first direct-to-customer bedding company, so they work directly with manufacturers and with the customers. There's no middleman, which is why they can give you such a great product and such great service. And they also provide towels, shower curtains, bath mats. They've even launched an ultra soft loungewear line that makes you feel like you never left your bed, which is my favorite place to be. Do you like softness, comfort, essentials to help you relax? Brooklinen has it all. Brooklinen.com is the perfect place to hit refresh in the new year. Go on, make yourself comfortable. Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all their sheets, comforters, loungewear, and towels come with a lifetime warranty. Get 10% off your first order and free shipping on all the new sheet when you use promo code MOM only at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. And hey, New Yorkers, if you're listening, you can get the internet's favorite sheets and more in real life. Visit Brooklinen's first store in Brooklyn. Very cool. At 127 Kent Avenue in Williamsburg. Brooklinen, everything you need to live your most comfortable life. I love you, Brooklinen.
All right, we're super excited to have the co-creators, writers, executive producers, directors of HBO's hit docuseries McMillions, James Lee Hernandez and Brian Lazarte. Am I saying that right? Lazarte?
Any relation?
Now, I got word that one of the other executive producers of the series is
Mark
Is that correct?
Yes,
that is correct.
I think it's pronounced Mark.
The ball is silent.
Mark Wahlberg. So it's his company. What's it called? I'm sorry, I'm blanking
It's
right now.
Unrealistic Ideas.
Unrealistic Ideas. So that's Mark and
Stephen Levinson and Archie Gibbs.
Yes, and I remember. So full disclosure for the viewers, listeners, I know Brian fairly well. We were born 2 weeks apart, next door to each other. So and spent a lot of time together. I remember when.
Wait, and your cousins.
Right.
Well, yeah.
We didn't say that, though.
No, but I mean, I was going to get there.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize. I thought you'd forgotten.
I have pictures of us bathing together on display in our home. That's when we were like 18, but also there's stuff from when we were kids, too. But I remember when this first story, like when you guys were first, I guess, got the rights to a part of the story.
Right.
And then, I don't know, there's this thing about documentaries that, I don't know, documentaries have become super popular, I would say, in the last decade especially, right? It's exploded. And I think everybody feels like when they hear any seemingly interesting story or meet any type of characterish person, you know, they're like, this would be a good documentary to do about, like, this guy, Hank, he's always buying coffee. He wears hats with feathers. You guys should do a documentary on him. How do you filter out that from, like, what you feel like would be a really actually exceptionally good documentary?
It's a good question. Usually the first question is, how did you guys get into this and how did you meet?
Of course.
It really comes down to like, what do you think is an interesting thing to dive into?
Yeah.
So you start to look into it and little pieces of it, and there's always a thing of, like, somebody might come to you and say, my friend lives next to an airport and now his whole family has cancer. Super sad.
Right.
You don't know if that's related. You start to look into it, but specifically with this, it's when you first start to learn about the concept of, okay, well, the McMillions, the McDonald's Monopoly game was loved by all, like, especially me as a kid. You know.
We should have. We just said the title, but that your docuseries, it's on HBO right now, McMillions, more specifically, is about the McDonald's Monopoly game that was huge when we were kids.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you guys further explore in this docuseries that there was massive fraud.
Right.
And that the winners were basically not legit winners.
Right. So from 1989 to 2001, there was a fraud ring that was stealing the game pieces and selling them around. So,
and nobody knew about this.
Nobody knew.
All.
No. The FBI was tipped off about this in 2001, and then they looked into it and eventually take the entire thing down in a pretty hilarious manner, especially for what people think of as the FBI. But for us, when we're, like, looking into this story, first, it's like the personal interest. Like, I loved the Monopoly game as a kid.
Yeah.
My first job at 16 was at McDonald's during the time of
You
this.
did work there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really?
I got my license. The day I got my license, I came home, showed my dad, like, I got my license. He's like, go get a job. And so I went to the Youth Employment Service Center and saw a big bulletin board said McDonald's is hiring, and underneath it said free food on all your breaks. And
Hell
it was all
yeah.
the motivation I needed.
Can you still eat McDonald's to this day? Or are you over
Yeah,
it?
I went through a really long period of time of not, but on this project, we've probably eaten there the last 2 years more than I had in the previous 20.
What was your go-to pleasure break food when you worked at McDonald's?
Oh, it was number 3 supersize with a Coke.
Whoa!
And
What's
that
the
was
number
the three?
three?
So that was a quarter pounder of cheese,
Yeah,
supersized
dude.
fries, and a Coke or a Sprite, depending on.
Dude, that Coke formula and the Diet Coke
Ooh.
Yeah.
tastes different than anywhere else. And also, I remember going to McDonald's, and if the fries weren't piping hot, I'd be like, these are cold. And I would get new fries.
Well, they go from like great to terrible,
It's
like immediately.
yes.
Based on the temperature.
And also, it's one of the only, I felt like it was the only food, or at least the first one that I ever discovered, that if it had gotten cold and you microwaved it, it tasted nothing like what you were like.
Wow.
It did not taste like
Right.
a hot version of the food again. You're
like,
like,
did you
It
get
chemically
is it
altered.
But I mean, usually you finish it, so you must have been like buying like 2 or 3 of them and like taking them.
it's
home.
possible.
And like, I'll save one for later. You know,
It might have been. I'm not. I mean, we're not going to call names. We're not going to insult each other. But yeah, I probably did that a few times.
Now,
But-
sorry, I just have a McDonald's question very quickly. The amounts of pickles and everything, that's all regulation. Like, do you have a number of squirts of ketchup that
yeah.
go? How many squirts of ketchup on a quarter pounder with cheese? Because I feel as though it's inferior. It's not enough.
Well, it's been a few years since I was in the kitchen, but usually, so they have a gun.
Yeah.
And the gun automatically does it. You do one squirt, it does like 3 perfect little splooges of ketchup on
awesome.
there.
That's so
And then you
rad.
put, I think it's 3 pickles on a regular
Right, 3.
cheeseburger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How many pickles on the McRib? Go ahead.
Oh God, I wasn't working there during the time McRib was available.
Why
That's-
is
I just made that up. I don't know why I
is
said
that
that.
soda so much better?
Yeah,
why
why
is
is
that formula?
I don't know.
better?
It's like a miracle. Even like a movie theater soda is 10 times better than if you like crack a Coke at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move on to more about McMillions, you're Hernandez, you're Lazarte. Were you guys tempted to feature Chipotle because of your Hispanic heritage?
That was once part owned by McDonald's.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
so it all ties together.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we talked about it and we just decided, I'm not as huge of a fan of like burritos as
Yes.
you are,
Yep.
and we at least had common ground with apple pies.
Stick to what you know.
We're
We always
in,
say stick to what you know.
Yeah.
Our negotiations with Taco Bell broke down. So,
Yeah.
So you're here now
But
at McDonald's.
To answer your question about like what makes something worth pursuing as a documentary, we saw this as, not only it was character and story. Like if the story is just a surface, like, oh, the FBI cracked the case, a
Right.
few phone calls, they did an undercover operation and that was it. Like maybe that would be an interesting short, or maybe that would make a good, short story, or you could build a whole feature script around something like that. But for us, talking to the FBI agents who were the first people that we actually spoke to in this process, hearing how far back this went, how, it was a fraud case that lasted 12 years.
How far
That's
into the
bananas.
conversation that you're talking to these guys do you realize that how rich the story is? Is it in the first time you talk to them? Or you're like, oh, shit.
It was actually
instantly. Yeah.
It was almost it was definitely before physical, like we actually shot anything. So we got a lot of the court transcripts.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a general idea of the overall story, but there's a lot of confusion. Like in reading through transcripts, you're getting pieces of the details. But in talking to Mark Devereaux, who was the federal prosecutor, he really laid out so much. And there was a story
He's
that
great, by the way. He's great on camera, man.
Yeah.
He's a performer. He's a trial attorney
Showman.
for
Yeah.
the U.S. government. Like you have to be that showman.
And you can tell too that like even watching him do interviews, you're like, he's in charge. Like he tells the FBI guys what's up for sure.
One of the first things he told us was about the story where the FBI had 3 people from McDonald's when they finally decided, hey, we hit a wall. We're going to get 3 people from McDonald's in on this and have them come out to FBI Jacksonville. And we're not going to tell them why we need to meet them.
Yeah.
And he picks them up from the airport, drives them personally to the FBI.
They must have been shitting their pants.
And we were asking, and this is not really covered too much actually in the series, but we were asking the FBI and Mark Devereaux, like, why would you tease them? Like, why would you have them show up, not say, like, they're talking about the weather, like, what are we doing here? And Mark's like,
isn't it sunny out?
You're like, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we'll get to that.
The fucking,
I mean,
state prosecutor is like, how's this rain? And you're like, why are we going to the FBI headquarters?
And Chicago to Jacksonville is not like a 30-minute flight.
No.
Like, they're stewing over what in the world are we being brought out here for?
Yes.
Well, and you think from their perspective, like if why wouldn't we go to the Chicago office of the FBI is the third largest in the world.
Right.
So why wouldn't we just like drive 20 minutes over to this? We have
Makes
to
sense.
fly to Jacksonville, Florida.
So he brings him into the FBI. Rick Dent greets them. And they take him through what is called a man trap at the FBI, which is basically you enter into one room and all the doors shut behind you. And you need someone from the FBI to like punch in another code to open another door for you to enter. And so all of this is being dragged out. And, we were asking like the FBI, like, what is the point of this? And they were saying how it's part of the strategy to actually see if any of these people are
Get
guilty.
rattled?
Yeah, because like if they were guilty, they would give off signs, like they would start sweating because they would know why they were there. Right. And so it was all built into this like
because he says in that first episode, Mark
Devereaux.
No, not Devereaux.
Oh, Chris Graham.
No, what's the Mr. Personality?
Doug Matthews.
Doug Matthews says that I think that he came in when he came in his suit. That he was also checking out body, we're reading body language and seeing it. And everybody at least passed the eye test, right? Like they're like, because they really had no idea.
Yeah.
But they're trying to discover, just to restate for the audience, that this humongous game, the McDonald's Monopoly game, the FBI at this point is basically has discovered, or is in the process of at least partially discovering, that there are no legit winners of big prizes. So like free Cokes and stuff, but the big money prizes are being stolen. And at this point, early on in this investigation, they have to figure out is because they don't know to what degree this conspiracy, how big it is. They have to look at these McDonald's corporate people and be like, are they a part of it? Is it in at McDonald's,
Yep.
Which is the whole thing, like I was saying, but right before we started recording, the thing about this series is that it is really like a fun crime caper, like has that Ocean's 11, these guys they're stealing, but you don't, they're stealing from a corporation, not that it's like justified, but you don't feel like it's going to be a depressing story. It's like it gets more and more outrageous. The characters are spectacular, real people, and every episode that passes, it's like another twist and turn comes that you didn't expect. It's like a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, it was a big. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It was at first you look at it and you see like it's not about a mass murderer. It's not about like somebody wrongfully jailed for 25 years.
Right.
So there is the latitude to be
where you don't
funny.
want to do like 6 episodes of like, here's the dungeon I slept in.
Oh Christ, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we're also a big fan of that style of a show or that style of a movie. And the stories that we heard, when we talked about, we talked about recreations for the series early on. That was part of our initial pitch.
Yeah, it was immediate.
And
it's everything is so cinematic within the story. It was like basically somebody wrote this, but it actually happened in real life. And there are no cameras inside of an FBI office or in McDonald's. But the story is so fascinating. You needed to live that moment where the FBI agents are sitting there with McDonald's and Doug walks in that gold suit.
Yeah.
Not nearly as entertaining if just Doug's just sitting there telling it and laughing at himself.
Yes.
Although still mildly entertaining.
Yes.
But we also knew it was a bit of a experiment, and it was kind of risky to ride that line of humor and seriousness. Like even when we were pitching, we told HBO, there's a lot of humor here, and they were definitely an incredible network and partner to have throughout, but there was definitely that like how is this going to be funny,
right?
And until they saw it, until they realized like, oh my gosh, like Doug is a phenomenal character, but just the style and approach, we hadn't seen that done in a true crime series before. So.
Yeah. Well, the subject matter allows you guys to be funny too, right?
Yeah.
It's like if it was like a docuseries about a bunch of kidnappings, it's like, they might be like, dial down the funny.
Yeah, it's a Monopoly
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking though, at that FBI thing you were talking about when they take them into the room and they close the door, I feel like I would give off tells even though I wasn't guilty because I feel guilty going through TSA. Even, you're like, maybe there is something, right? Like, I feel guilty no matter what.
When I landed in Singapore, when I was doing that Asian tour a few years ago, we flew from Hong Kong and they gave us a heads up. Like before, they're like, Singapore does not fuck around at all. and you're like, okay. And they're like, no, they put people to death, for any type of drug offense. And I'm in that line and I know I don't have drugs on me. And I start just like emptying my backpack before I get to the front. Cause I'm like, what if there's like a joint that I forgot about or an edible or something? And they're like, they will hang you. They'll hang you here for that. And it was like that built in. And I kept digging through the backpack, just trying to, like, I know there's something. I'm sure if they were like watching me in line, like, what the fuck is up with this guy? But they do that.
I know, and I go out of my way when I go through TSA to look casual.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, act cool, Christina. Like, there's nothing in your bag. Like, there isn't anything in my bag.
Everything good?
Yeah, I'm such a dork.
Hey guys. Yeah.
How much money? What's the most amount somebody stole from that game? It was just a game.
Yeah, individually, you could only do $1 million. There was talk of, like in the last episode, or in one of them, there's talk of at some point a $5 million game piece, but there's nothing we've seen
so
about
much
that.
money.
But $1 million, and there would be multiples every single time they ran the game.
So without giving the
damn
the super whatever details we can't reveal until it this is. Episode 5 has just aired, okay? 5 for when this comes out.
Oh, right. Just kidding.
So without giving out anything that you can't give out, how many years was there never a legit big winner?
Well, so the game started in 1987. In 1989 was the first winner who we could find, who was Marvin Braun, who claimed a piece illegitimately with Jerry Jacobson. So from 1987 until 2001, and there's kind of this gray area somewhere in between.
You mean 1989, right? 1989 is when it started. You said 87.
Okay, yeah.
So 89 was the first stolen piece and was $25,000.
Right.
And then that was basically a proof of concept.
Yeah.
And after that, that's
every big winner.
Well, so this is a really interesting thing. The FBI couldn't prove that people were stealing the entire time, but that's because certain key people that were involved with this died.
Right.
So there are people who had won that possibly were part of this, but never got busted.
At the same time, there are people who could have won in that time who were completely legitimate. There's no way of knowing.
You know what I'm wondering is, McDonald's gave us $2.3 million and we had to give it back. Mm-hmm. Do you think that? Well, yeah,
they're like
you didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah.
Did they have to give back the money that they stole from the game pieces? Because they wanted their money back real fast when we got fired.
We're not sure how you guys handled your legal. You might have had a great attorney.
There's actually a lot of contracts that
Yeah.
we shouldn't really keep talking about.
But yes, in this case, oftentimes with white collar cases, whether you plea or you're found guilty, like you
got to give that money.
You got to give that money back.
Yep. Now, what happens? Obviously, I don't know if this. I'm just curious if this passes on to your next of kin. If a person wins, like in this scenario, and dies, does the government go after the family? Is that what happens in that scenario?
That's we could call up Mark Devereaux and find out for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting question because it's really based on what you stole and not what you actually received.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, there were people involved in this, and we explained this in episode 6. But let's say you gave 10 people $1 million winning game pieces, and you personally only got a few $100,000 from selling those pieces off. You're responsible for $10 million.
What?
Yes.
Oh, snap. Wait,
why? Explain that.
This is crazy.
Well, this is a question more for the Department of Justice, but
if you have $1 million piece,
so sometimes they negotiate it down. So it's like in every case for this they negotiated it down, but you're potentially, it's sort of like the maximum sentencing for fraud in this case is like 5 years in prison. So like you could be on the hook for the full amount. It just depends on how cooperative you were that they're willing to work a deal. But it's the idea that I think when we were talking to Devereaux, it's really designed to be a deterrent. So if, right, like a lot of people in white collar cases don't go to prison for a long period of time, but you are financially screwed for the rest of your life. And this is one way to do that.
I have a better question, which is why steal $1 million pieces and give them to somebody else?
Well,
because keep it for yourself, sucker.
You can't claim.
Yeah, you can't claim it. So one main person is taking it,
and
but he couldn't keep doing it. And also, he worked
amateur
there.
criminal over here.
Sorry, guys, but then he gets a kickback.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, did you find, because I've found this from watching the series, and maybe you experience this when you're making it especially, is that you start to play those lifelong hypotheticals in your mind about, what would I do in the right circumstances. And I felt like a certain, what people are doing, what some of these people are doing is wrong, but something about the way the story comes out and getting to, it's not a mugshot. You're hearing someone speak. You start to empathize with them a little bit, like, oh man, like I know this is wrong, but like I almost feel badly for you, for some of them.
Yeah.
Because I would almost I believe that some of them weren't bad people, but the temptation of that much money in that moment was too much.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, that's
there's a big theme throughout it is just sometimes good people make bad decisions. And you don't realize that some decision can lead to being a federal criminal. It seems very, very harmless on the surface.
Because I think most of us, if like right now, you have careers and you're established, and you're you don't need that chip or whatever, that piece of paper to get that. But like there's certainly a week, a month, a year in your life where somebody approaches you and they go like, do you want a part of this? And you're like, yeah, man, like that would be amazing.
Well, think about it too.
Definitely.
This was in the 90s, right? And prior to 9/11, I think we all saw our lives and this country a little bit different. We were far less skeptical than we are today. Just the information super age that we're in, we're privy to so much more that we were back then. And if a friend or family member came to you with the opportunity to win $1 million, and all you had to do was say you're the one who peeled this off a game piece.
Yeah.
Like no one's looking at those game rules.
I actually phrased it incorrectly. I'm trying to think of like the 4 years where I wouldn't participate.
Yeah, same.
Like
2008, the year we got married, and we had like no money in the Rampart division.
Yeah,
someone offered this to me. I'd be like, Tommy,
you don't
take
have
it.
to kill anybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Who are you
kidnap.
hurting?
Yeah, exactly.
McDonald's,
I would have taken
they've got
it
money.
in 2008,
Somebody has to
2009,
win anyway.
2010.
Yeah. It's I mean, you look at that great show Locked Up Abroad. It's one of my favorite shows. Because hey man, at 19 years old, I didn't have a dime. I wanted to travel. If someone was like, just take this bag of whatever to Turkey or back from this country, I may have done that too in the 90s. Like,
you'd have an extra hole in you now for sure. Turkish prison's no joke.
No, it's no joke. But
we wanted to humanize the criminal element because oftentimes if you think of this, when we were talking about the story, it's like, a syndicate, right? All these people involved with the conspiracy, over 50 people were involved across 23 states. So that's a large amount of people. And you have to consider that was like an enterprise, like some sophisticated, intelligent criminal ring. And it really wasn't that. There were just, people who were
How did they get away with that for so long? I mean, I'm sure you answer this in the series, but like, what's the the short form summary of how this was able to be?
Well, diversification, right? So Jerry Jacobson was diversifying not only his recruiters but his winners. So nobody really knew too much about who else he was dealing with.
Yeah.
So, for instance, like AJ Glum, who is in episode 4. He was the drug runner who went on the run.
Right.
And
he had the previous criminal past.
Yeah.
Yes.
And phenomenal character. And joined us for our last podcast. He was responsible for $10 million winners. Wow. Right, but he didn't know that Jerry was doing any other tickets with anybody else.
Oh, he thought that was it.
Yeah, he knew that that Jerry had done this in the past, but he didn't know that there were actively other recruiters doing the same exact thing.
Right, at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's isn't it a victimless crime? I mean, who are you ripping off? McDonald's, a huge corporation? You're not taking food out of babies' mouths.
It is.
But you're thinking like a real criminal now.
I'm on board now. Now I'm pro stealing from McDonald's.
It definitely looks like a victimless crime, and to think like somebody had to win. All they're doing is redirecting who wins.
Yeah.
And they're taking a little kickback for it, but
other than a sensational story, does like Deborah, does the federal government think that that's a worthwhile pursuit of the time and resources to solve a case like this? You know what I mean? Like, it's a great story, but do they is that worth it to them to bust this?
It was, because basically any sort of plan to defraud other people out of property or money is a fraud.
That's a bad thing.
So eventually you start to see in episode 5, and then you really hammer home the scope of the amount of people that were involved. But 53 people were indicted.
53
so many people for this.
Oh, so this is like taking down
ridiculous.
a mafia family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
So
also they didn't know. They didn't know as they were doing it was anybody in McDonald's. So the FBI was doing healthcare fraud cases. That was their primary fraud that was happening at that time in the country. And so if you think about fraud,
boring.
Yeah.
Of course it's
not
boring.
As sexy.
But it's also you're talking about stealing money from corporations, from businesses. They're also, the tax implication of what that means to steal. And across state lines, there's nobody else who can actually stop somebody in that kind of case. So how do you deter people from committing fraud? Even like medical fraud with doctors and pharmaceutical companies who were committing, and I mean even to this day the amount of money that's actually being spent tax wise. Mark Devereaux was talking about this most recently to us. Like half of what's being spent in the pharmaceutical industry is being is going to fraud. Like we just don't know about it. And so how do you catch people? Well, you try to deter them by catching other people and locking them up. Yeah.
Right.
So fraud is a big deal, and if you just like turn your back to it,
it gets rampant.
Exactly, more and more fraud.
Oh wow!
And it's constantly shifting. Like the main thing that all these people got busted for was mail fraud and wire fraud. And you think like, well, why? Those are very broad terms, but fraud changes so much. What fraud is today with what you can do online and what you can do with computers is completely different than it was 25 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And the government can't keep up with changing laws for very specific things. So they say, all right, well, where's the money going? How's it getting to places? And then are you utilizing the U.S. mail as a part of the scheme? And that's what they can get you on.
That's so interesting that the deterrent works. So by making an example of the bad guys, so we should be doing this on everything else. Like for theft, we should be rounding up those thieves, cutting their hands off in public, let everybody see, bring the kids around. Sure. In Saudi Arabia, it works really well.
It works really well there. Yeah. China too. They don't have. They don't have a lot of drug dealers there. They don't have them
Chomos.
in
Let's
the
round up the
Philippines
Chomos
because they put a bullet in their head.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The deterrent supposedly does not work for drug dealing. In the U.S.
Oh, what about child molesting? I think we should round them up and cut their wieners off in public.
That's a good point.
Is anybody opposed?
That
to
would be a good deterrent.
Yeah.
For at least for some.
That's not strong enough for others.
There's some crazy people out there in the world.
Oh, I am learning that the older I get.
Would you like to see some?
Yeah. What a perfect segue. Gosh, did you write that?
Do you want to see?
Well, I imagine that
100%.
You are
Brian, let him put the
brim.
crazies on, please.
Play us some crazy.
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff I could show you here. Let me see what I got.
Isn't that literally what TikTok is? Just that.
Why, yes,
well,
it is.
If you're going to go ahead and bring them up, I guess we'll pull up the TikToks. Where
Are you on the talk?
Oh, it's.
I
it's
literally just got into it because one of the PR people from HBO is like obsessed with it. She's like,
It's
you have to get
amazing.
into it. It's so new. And I was like, I just really want the name that I want to select in case it gets popular and it's the new Instagram.
Yeah.
I have a good handle now.
Well, tell you what, go to @TheChristinaP and look at my stories. I curate the finest talks in the business. It'll get you a nice leg up on how this app works.
Perfect.
Here you go.
But I was crying about you all the time, but I love you. Please do not leave me, please. I love you.
All right. That's something that appears on Christina's phone, and she thinks
It's my feed.
Let me share that.
Look, for real. All I'm saying is that if your coochie stink and his peppy small, y'all belong together. Y'all are fish and shrimp basket.
That's science, I believe.
What do you think? Is that science?
That's science right there.
What do you think of her, Tom?
I dig her eyebrows.
I think you should try to go as her for Halloween.
Oh my God, that's a really good idea.
You already-
I'm halfway there.
You already have the lipstick. Yeah.
Well, I just have to I have to shave my eyebrows and pencil in a line.
Yep.
You could probably do the prosthetic cover up, like so that it's not permanent.
Oh my God, I do look a lot like her.
Somebody
Oh,
left
cool
a
eyebrows,
previous
too.
comment saying that my eyeliner should not be thicker than my eyebrows, which I didn't realize. So I hope in this video that my eyebrows look better.
Did you hear that? That your eyebrows shouldn't be thinner than your eyeliner.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good rule of thumb. Could
It
be
is a
our
good
next
rule.
T-shirt. I don't know.
Really cool find.
It kind of is. That was a good one.
God.
Come on.
Hey, I just want all the lesbians who are proud of being gold stars to stop. That's just rooted in misogyny, it's biphobic, it's transphobic, it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't make you any gayer, virginity doesn't exist, and it's heteronormative as hell.
Did you get that?
It's very well.
You know, heteronormative is a new term I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
Well, so are all those other things she rattled off.
You want to break that one down or no?
So what she's saying is, do you know what a gold star lesbian is?
Yes.
It's where lesbians never had a penis inside their vagina, and
Right.
they're considered a gold star, meaning highest.
You
ranked,
weren't
defiled by a disgusting male penis.
That makes a lot of sense.
So she's saying to call yourself gold star is essentially misogynistic because it's heteronormative.
She
You're
also
saying you're
said-
defining it in the patriarchy.
And virginity doesn't exist.
And virginity doesn't exist.
Just
Duh.
like gender doesn't exist. All
None
kinds
of
of
it
cool
exists,
things you
guys.
can learn watching this show.
There is no objective
Does
reality.
anybody like
come
Darth
on, dude.
Vader,
What are
the
you
Sith
doing?
Lord?
What are you doing?
This is Cody. I want to meet the real Vader, Darth Vader. Yeah.
Thanks,
the
babe.
real Sith Lord.
He wants to meet Darth
Babe.
Vader. Do you guys know Darth Vader?
Babe, what are you doing?
He wants to meet Darth Vader.
All right.
You guys are in show business. Do you
let's-
know Darth Vader?
Hey, I'm going to skip this one.
We'll make some
Let's
calls.
go to the next one.
All right.
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to do this. Please call me. I didn't mean to do this. I don't know why you're so mad at me. I love you. I apologize.
He likes this one. I found Tommy's
I want to
sweet
know so
spot.
bad.
I know. What happened? What did he do?
Yeah, what did he do?
Okay, so this is the second one in the series that I've discovered. There's a few other things I'd like to point out.
Damn it.
A, he doesn't understand how this app works, meaning this is not a private message. So this is made public. And B, if you'll notice, he's very hirsute. You will notice there's hair follicles on the bridge of his nose. Go ahead and zoom in, and you'll see the hair on the bridge of his nose.
I don't want
So
to.
he's done something wrong, and he is repenting now to the public. The next video, I believe, is another confessional. Go ahead, cue that up, Tom.
Jesus Christ.
Baby, call me, please. You said you're wide awake and everything, but you're not calling me. Or at least text me, let me know what you're doing.
Okay.
I love you.
Look at those
What is going? Okay, first of all,
piercing blue
who
eyes.
gave him the idea to trim his beard?
That's
like
what I
this?
was thinking too. Like it's either it should be all or nothing.
I
but
mean,
it's like a
just
half.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
I feel kind
He's
of
like,
bad.
it says you're awake.
No, you're supposed to feel good when you watch these.
Oh, you don't feel better now? That's
Wait a minute.
strange.
Have you guys ever made an apology video like this to a girlfriend?
No. No.
Mm-mm.
Not that anybody will ever see.
Have you
hopefully.
Have you gotten him personally?
Videos? Well,
From
not
Tom?
in this era. No. I've gotten music. I've had people writing songs. I had an apology song one time. That was nice. Poems.
I played a song over the phone one time.
Nice.
What's
Not
the
to
craziest
me.
thing
Was
that
it-
Tom has sent you?
I mean, he would write me a letter from like a hotel stationery, and it'll be like, "Dear Christina, I made all the farts today. I browned in the toilet. I love you." Like juvenile.
And he would mail it to you, like physically, like snail mail.
One time
style?
I did it.
I have it in my desk.
on a
love right
typewriter.
Yeah,
the
that's the
hotel
one.
had a typewriter. And I think I threatened violence in it too. or something.
Yeah, typical. But that's
Yeah.
typical.
That's
What a
sweet.
lover.
I met
I
her.
know.
I met her. She saved me just in time from when I probably would have started sending dick pics. You know, I've never sent a dick pic.
Right, 'cause
And I'm
technology
sure
was just
that like
starting
if
up.
it were like a few years later, I'd be like, I got a bunch of dick pics out there. I don't.
So Tom sends me dick pics.
Of his?
No, not of his.
Just anyone else's.
Just anyone else's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Randomly.
Oh, I sent him the one that you sent to Leanne and everything. The coronavirus one. I sent that to him. Yeah.
Do you know that ended up ruining Leanne's life? Wait,
So our friend Bert.
Oh my God.
Sent it to his. She sent it to the wife too, and the wife was on a flight and like was trying to open it and couldn't, and so she copied it and sent it to her softball moms, like the softball kids team, and then she sent it to her daughters. She was like, "Y'all got to watch out."
So, well, you should set up. So
Yeah.
this was a total like gag text.
Yes.
That read like, "Hey, by the way,
coronavirus is here," which is now going to be real.
Right.
But at the time, we were like, "Ha ha ha."
Well, and it's like news, and it specified like what area of Los
Right.
Angeles we lived. And so I'm thinking like, oh, like there's reports of, a virus here, like nearby. So of course, I click on it because it comes from you, but I'm definitely not thinking that it's a gag.
Yeah.
And it was.
This lady sent it to her 12 and 15-year-old daughters.
And it was a big
Yes.
guy with a huge dong.
Yes.
Oh, you sent that to me.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I-
And we
this-
should point something
this
out.
is hilarious.
We should point something out. Flaccid. It was not
was
hard.
flaccid.
And it was still
They
really
don't
big.
all look like that? I thought.
No.
all right.
This came from Josh Adam Myers, and now it's
Yeah.
all the way into your world. How funny is this?
Yep.
God, thanks, Josh Adam Myers, for ruining everybody's
So
life.
what ended up happening with this whole softball team?
She said that when she landed, she was because he was sitting next to her. She goes, "Oh, something must have happened. I got a bunch of text messages." And then she said she opened the messages, and they were like, "Oh my God, that's so scary." And the next one said like, "I think I experienced that in college." And then she was like, "What?" And then her husband Bert was like, "I think you maybe need to check out the link you sent out." So she immediately called her daughters, and then one of them was like, "That's gross," and the other one was like, "I didn't even open it." So
I think
My God.
coming from for me, it's coming from my cousin, but
Yeah.
it's, comedy comes in many forms.
Yeah.
And
that was a big form.
This is a big farm.
Big
so,
one.
oh, sorry.
All
I
right,
thought we were-
outlaws, listen up.
This is a good one.
What makes you all think we're related?
No, stop this. Let me see this. Listen here, motherfuckers. You've done pissed me the fuck off, and I'm already in a bad goddamn mood today. Well, little advice to those that think we're cousins. No, the fuck we're not. I'm not related to her. I'm no kin to her. And if you keep the shit up, I'm calling the fucking CEO, and every one of y'all's little goddamn accounts are getting shut down. Do I make myself clear?
Just FYI, he's Cherokee.
Stop.
I'm not native.
You all have a loud mouth. Well, secret's out. Fuck with us and watch what happens to your accounts.
Ooh.
Goodbye.
So they got sick of people saying like, "Why are you fucking your cousin?"
Yeah,
They put this
and
out
he's
there.
going to call Mr. TikTok
The
himself.
CEO
Exactly. That's how it
of
goes.
the internet. He knows who that guy is.
CEO of the internet. That's true.
So Bree, you grew up with a young Tom Segura. Was he always a degenerate, or did this happen later? Like, how was Tom when he was little? The audience needs to know.
So Tom had always liked to make fun of people.
Yeah.
Like even since we were kids, and we would be sitting across from each other, and he's just like, look at that idiot who just walked in the door. But he would use other adjectives and descriptors, And I'm like, Tom, like that guy can hear you. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, and it was almost like you wanted to get beat up.
Yeah.
But he never did. And I think also in high school he would do this. And because Tom was so big, like nothing threatened Tom.
That gave you I think they call that bullying.
It does sound like it.
There's a term.
But the thing is, he would never do it to their face. You know, he was very nice to everybody. But like if we were talking, he'd love to talk shit about other people.
Dude.
But I think it was an exercise, like
see if I could get you to laugh. That's really what it was.
But dude, that's like the foundation of our marriage.
Yeah.
And this podcast. That's all we do all day.
I think it was also he liked to make me uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
He knew that like I would start to get all squeamish, like that guy can hear you, and he's like,
that's the fun.
Yeah,
that was the fun of it.
It was fun, but
because you're definitely more sensitive and empathetic towards other people's feelings. And like,
that's true.
Yeah, like you're nice. Stuff.
We grew up. I mean, he and I were like, every day.
Oh, I know.
Together, every day together. We spent a lot of time together. We did. School and playing after school, going on family trips. I would go with his family. I actually was just talking about how your folks came over to my house on a weekend a few weeks ago.
Oh, recently. Oh,
and
yeah.
how I had never experienced the onslaught of questions that I heard from your mother in such a compressed time, in such a short period of time.
And so my mom is Chado's sister,
right?
And they're fart buddies.
Oh my god!
Like they.
How did you feel when you first saw this?
Yo no me son anymore.
That was the best moment of my life. Yeah. Do you remember when you first saw it?
Oh my gosh! I watched it like 10 times in a row.
Weren't you kind of like someone's finally captured what we've been seeing?
Yes.
For our lives.
I mean, because the thing is, my mom at this point is hard of hearing. She has like the industrial strength hearing aids to actually hear, so she will rip them, and she thinks that they're silent.
Yeah.
Like nobody can hear
How
them
did you
because
know? Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't hear them.
Yeah.
And she also has no control. Like she doesn't know, like they just happen. It's like, oh, I couldn't stop that from happening. But the two of them together are like,
unbelievable.
I mean, they are inseparable, and they think alike, they talk alike, and they fart all day long.
They fart a lot. And they both fart like that level all the time.
Wait, I've not heard Blanca fart like this.
Smell though, that's the thing too. Like
Mm.
you can't pick that up in a video. Like I'm sure you were gagging at the same time that you were laughing.
Well, that's the thing is that you just don't know what's going to happen. So with her, I feel like like sometimes they're that loud and there's nothing, and then the very next fart is
silent and like,
or even like half as long. You're like, oh, it's a mini one, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna fucking die. Yeah, I mean, their insides are rotting for sure. They're in their 70s, and,
right?
Yeah.
And the older you get, the worse your farts smell, don't you think? Or
I think so.
Yeah, it's a buildup.
That's medical. Yeah.
Let's ask Dr. Drew about this. The older you get, your farts smell worse? Your mouth smells worse the older you get.
That's for sure.
Your ears grow, your nose grows, and then your farts smell.
And your breath
when
gets
you look
worse.
in like, especially in an older man's mouth, you're like, what's going on? And the decay is real.
They're like chiclets.
Yeah, every time I see my dad, I'm like, hey man, open your mouth again. He's like, oh. It's like, I feel like there's bats are gonna fly out of his mouth. It's like, it looks terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, and I'm like, did you brush your teeth? He's like, yeah. I'm like, go back. Go back.
Dad mouth.
Now your dad, nice mouth. But speaking of like this, what you guys are your series, I feel like it also touches on the thing like when we were kids and playing this game, it's almost like a kid's opportunity to get involved with a big prize like the lottery or bingo, and your dad has the itch to be involved in anything where there's a prize. I feel like more so than anybody in my life. And I mean, as from my perspective, I don't know if you feel the same way, is like the guy, the lucky guy.
Yeah.
The guy who, I mean, it's kind of astonishing when you break it down.
Right.
Like,
So-
talk about your dad's luck.
Yeah. So, you grew up with me. You remember this. So my dad won the Ohio lottery in 1984, and at the time it was only 20-year payouts, and it wasn't as much as the lottery is now. So it was the equivalent of $90,000 a year pre-taxes for 20 years, and so after taxes, it's like 60.
It was 1984.
That's
1984.
amazing.
Yeah, that was huge.
And
back
by
then.
the way, we were so
It
young.
still is a great living.
No, I know.
You can
but
live
true.
on.
When you hear it though, I mean, like, you don't understand. Like, we were just like, oh, Uncle Dave won the lottery.
You're a gazillionaire.
Yeah.
Well, and so growing up, there was always that, like, don't ever talk to anybody about it. Don't tell people at school that this happened. And, he started his business, like building products, and he never went to college. So this was like his opportunity to actually apply some of that money towards his future. We didn't really have like a fancy house. I know that we did a fancy vacation every year, and you would come along with us.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you even know this story, but within a year of my dad winning, one of his friends came up to him and said, hey, like, let me shake your hand. I want some of that luck. And so my dad shook his hand, and that week, that guy won $9 million in the lottery.
What?
Wow.
Did you know that story?
I did not know
Oh
that.
my God.
Yeah.
I
gotta
do
shake
know.
my hand.
I do remember that in the subsequent years,
Yes,
he also won a number of raffles.
Yeah.
One of which he won a home in.
He won a house
Oh my
in a church
God.
raffle.
Yeah. And then our parents were really into cruises, and so they would always go on these cruises. And they on the cruises, they have a casino that like opens up once you hit certain amount of miles offshore, right? Because they're always going to like the Caribbean cruises, dude, all the time. It felt like every other time they would go on a vacation, I'd go, "How was your trip?" And my parents would be like, "It was great." Oh, Dave won in the casino, and then we're talking about like slot machines. and
Now
stuff.
hold on. Does he put in a ton of money in the slot machines? Like, how much is he spending to make?
He has a system for sure. He has his own, I think, unspoken, but he would hit regularly, like 10, 20 all the time.
Oh my God.
All the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
And
he
didn't he win some other?
He won the lottery again.
Yeah.
He won like 125,000.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Twice in his life, he's won like a major.
Yeah. So as far as like growing up, obviously like one of the luckiest people, I think I mean, personally, no, but that degree of luck, I think plays very much into, I mean, it's definitely not something we've, I think talked about, we've talked about it ourselves, but not like publicly or anything. The idea that, you could be that lucky, right? And win something. Obviously, like, I think like all the time, is that gene going to be passed on to me? Like, did it ever pass on to me? And I've played the lottery a couple times in my life and have never won. So,
do you feel like you have the bug to play more though? Like, do you think you have that?
Not so. I don't like gambling.
Yeah,
like,
Brian's big gambler. Huge. He's in Vegas.
I'm not a gambler myself.
I really.
You never struck me as a gambler, but you
don't-
do strike me as wanting to like buy, the raffle tickets.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So I've definitely like the what is the Special Olympics, win the house raffle. I've done that a couple years, but I've never, obviously I didn't get anything. And like the odds of at least winning something, even if it's like a notepad, are pretty good. And I haven't even won that. So I don't really think of it as like, yeah, maybe one day I'll have a chance. I actually stopped playing the lottery. Although, occasionally like my mother-in-law, she plays like the same numbers every week, very religious about it. She says like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And like
She plays it every week?
Every week, same numbers. So, we'll see if that ever happens, but the chances are, it's pretty small. But yeah.
Do you play it?
Nah, not really. I went through a phase where when I was 19, I was convinced I was going to win the money to get an Escalade for whatever. I mean, loving hip hop music.
That's dope,
That was
dude.
literally
Yeah.
all I thought about. Was like, man, the Montel Jordan video has new Escalade. I need that shit. But outside of that, no, I just love craps.
Do you have an Escalade now?
No.
Oh, but
I didn't get to achieve my dream. Just
Dude,
yet.
you can get it now.
Speaking of winning,
you
guys got some
good
prizes.
Segue,
Hey,
Bri.
thanks. I'll wear these not for McDonald's, but for you because of our past relationship.
They're technically HBO branded,
Oh,
so you're
that's
good.
great.
Yeah.
And I can wear these. Oh my gosh, so
Yeah.
exciting! Thank you.
Winning.
Nice.
These are
Right.
dope.
HBO. What's
Love
up?
it. You look great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we all have that in us in some way.
The ability to win the lottery?
Well, just the like the desire to win something from nothing
yeah.
or for
course.
$1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing else in life where you could spend $1,
dude,
and walk away with.
No, I know.
Like
Millions.
$100 million.
Dude,
Like,
I remember when we were on vacation and I won bingo.
oh shit, that's true. And you were with my dad.
And I was with your dad.
Yes.
And I was with all you. And
You
I
know-
won, and I thought I was 9. I thought I was set for life.
Yeah.
So they gave me like in 20s, and I was like, what the fuck, man? And I remember we got back to the room, and your
It was
mom,
$200.
Yeah, your mom was like, "Hey, you have to share with your cousins." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "How much?" I forget what it was, but it was like split it up. I was like,
No,
"Split up my empire?"
Yeah. That's in no communist country.
I know.
I wonder if we have that
bullshit.
on video. We might even have that on video.
You probably do.
So I forgot about
I'd
that.
be
so
pissed.
So we were with my dad. He wins bingo in this like big like we were on vacation, and there was like this big dinner bingo thing. And then we were on a family vacation with my dad, and my wife, Iris, played bingo.
Who's been on Where My Mom's At, by
That's
the way.
right.
Check her out.
And she won $7,000.
What?
Did I tell
Did you guys make her chop it up?
Yeah. What the F?
You're like, where's my cut? Let's go.
Actually,
yes.
Actually, we did.
Wow.
No.
Well, no, we didn't make her chop it up, but there was a sense of obligation because I think my parents had wanted to treat us.
I
to it was a week-long cruise.
Oh, so you
and we had
gave
never
them.
done a cruise. They were into the whole cruising thing.
Yes.
We have not done one since, and so she wanted to divvy it up, give them a little bit, and also at the time I think her brother was like in need of some cash, and so she gave him.
She's a nice
Damn.
lady. Iris is nice.
This would have been a
person.
totally different scenario if this guy had won.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like, fuck.
No,
yeah.
but I mean, like it goes like I can't even list the number of places like with my dad where like you would have that degree of luck. Like,
Isn't that amazing?
wild.
Yeah. Wow.
Some people have it, man.
Right.
I feel like this episode really painted me as a childhood bully.
No, but here's the deal, man. I found out I was kind of a bully as a kid too because I used to make fun of other children, and then Dr. Drew was like, "You're a fucking bully."
But I want to
I'm
be
like,
clear.
"Yeah."
I did not go and like punk kids out. What I would do is wait till they were gone, and then like talk about
Talk
them,
some shit.
make fun of them.
It's called being a
Especially-
comedian. That's
yeah.
what being a comedian.
Yeah,
literally
especially if
what
something
everybody
really
does.
stood out wrong with them. You know what I mean?
You were practicing material. I remember one time in Florida, we went to like a Denny's in the middle of the night, and we were with, I think your friend Ramon, and was that
Yeah.
him? All right. And so we walk in, and just out of the blue, like I think we were trying to get a table, and you're like, well, do you know who that guy is? And the server, do you remember the story? The server, the host at the time was like, no, he's like, oh, he's famous. He's an Olympic champion.
Oh, that's right.
And and like you were building him up, and they were like all excited, like we have an Olympic champion sitting at this.
And then they
Denny's.
gave us free stuff.
Right.
Oh. Yeah.
And then they didn't bother to ask, and then at a certain point you were like, oh yeah, for table tennis. And like I couldn't keep a straight face because and you did it so straight, and this was well before you were
sure.
But yeah, you had the funny bug.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to get them to be like so excited.
So, but like I guess that was harmless. You
Yeah.
know, it was nice. You were also trying to do something nice for your friend, make him feel special.
Make him feel special.
Yeah. All I'm saying is by today's standards, all these crybaby snowflakes would be like, oh, he's a bully. He's bullying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying by today's
Right, of
BS crybaby fucking standards.
It would be totally different.
Back then, you were just noticing other people's weaknesses and pointing them out
and
to
exploiting
Brian
them
and
to get kids
exploiting
to
them.
laugh.
That's right.
But why was I doing that? Because I was new and I wanted kids to like me.
Of course.
Okay.
And that's
But
what we do on the
so
show.
I don't remember this, but Tom apparently was like really shy.
Really?
Yeah. So early on, like we did live next door to each other for many years, but I think before we were 2 or 3, we didn't. We lived like 10 minutes away from each other. And when I moved next door to him, and we were like 3.5 or 4 years old, do you remember your parents telling the story of like how you would you decided to take me to every neighbor's house and like ring the doorbell and say, "This is my cousin."
No.
You don't remember this story? Like, so
He's blocked that out. That's just years of therapy
That was-
you brought
that was-
back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's probably that sounds really sweet though.
It was
Because
sweet.
he loved
Yeah.
you. He was proud of you being there.
This is my
Showing
cousin.
you
We're gonna
off.
get married one day. I probably said something like that. I wanted to show you that you gave Christina gloves, but I also have gloves. These are called hander pants. And they're underwear for your hands, and they're great for night vlogging or podcasting or just hanging out.
You have to wear them. They cut down on hand sweat.
I feel so much better when I wear them.
Man, I'm jealous. I want to wear my hander pants over my gloves.
Oh, maybe save up and you can get some.
I will.
Have you worn those out in public yet?
Of course. Wear them on stage and wear them all the
Driving,
time.
yeah, wear them driving.
Oh, they help for driving. You know, sometimes the steering wheel slips and you're like, fuck. Like that never happens when I have
You need
these on.
grip on your hander pants.
Yeah.
like yoga toes, like Pilates.
That's true.
Grip
Yep.
on them.
They're really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I try one on? Can I put a hander pant
Over?
on? Yeah.
Wow.
Over my regular pants.
It's like that's like that's like
Wow.
that's like superhero style.
It's like Dumb and Dumber.
See how much drier this hand is now?
Now you can write.
Look at the grip.
Oh,
Before it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah. And now, now
Watch.
it feels right.
Oh fuck. And then I go like this, and it's dry as a bone.
Wait, before we go, because obviously everybody knows to watch McMillions on HBO, and I'm sure if you've missed, you can see it on demand or HBO Go, right?
Yeah, right.
Or, which are fantastic. You also, we've been lucky enough to just be here and for it, but you guys have been releasing podcast episodes to support each episode of the series. What's covered in the podcast, and how can people find it?
The podcast is so you can find the McMillions podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, the HBO No and Go apps.
Everywhere where podcasts are available.
Correct. So the big thing for us was the story is gargantuan. I mean, it spans 12 years, the 53 people that were indicted across 23 states. Like, there's a lot within it. And there were a ton of stories that they just didn't make it within the show. They were either they were really interesting but not vital pieces of information, and or just really cool things that we thought people would want to know about. So we went to HBO and said, hey, what do you guys think about doing a podcast where we can add these things in? And then also there's so much information that the people that were in this whole situation, like the criminal side and the FBI side, that they wouldn't know until watching the show. So we have those people on and talk to them about what they've learned from watching the show. The FBI agents even say to us, like Chris Graham, who is the squad chief of the white collar crime squad, talks about how we know 10 times more than they ever knew, because all they do is figure out what they need to get convictions and then arrests and then convictions. For us, we can dive into the backstory of everything. They didn't know the whole thing with Gloria Brown and what she went through. So to be able to get those reactions of the things they're learning.
On another level, for people involved with the story, especially the investigators, it's got to be fascinating for them to watch this.
Yeah.
You know, and to reveal all the the little details that maybe they didn't have time or access to, you know?
Yeah. A big thing that like episode 5 has the crazy fact story about the FBI, and knowing it just from the criminal side of like how close they could have come to just blowing the entire investigation right before all of the arrests. And it's just a fascinating thing to understand.
Yeah, the podcast is evolved a little bit, because what we always looked at it as, this was where we could play our deleted scenes that didn't make the show. We could dive deeper into some of the interviews.
Deep dive.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to say that.
That's true.
We were saying it too much in the podcast.
Oh, really?
That's true. Like our producer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, we were very fortunate in, to make this series as unknown directors prior to this, without a track record of directing a feature. Unrealistic Ideas, which is Mark Wahlberg, Stephen Levinson, and Archie. Like, to their credit, when we teamed up with them to go out to HBO, like, this was like them supporting us as directors, as unknowns, and the vision that we had for it, because you don't really see that too often where an unknown director has the chance to direct a series. You see it in the feature world a bit more. So that was a huge thing for us, and we've had their support and HBO support for the series. And then the podcast was not only designed to like be a place for all these extra things, but really it's kind of evolved more into the character study of some of these people, because the characters are what we feel make stories interesting.
Sure.
Right? Like, you can have an interesting story, but if you have a dull character, like, no one's going to watch it. And there's only so much time that we could fit into talking about who these characters are within the body of the series. And so that's kind of one of the ways that we've been able to explore a little bit deeper. And we've had some, every subject that we've had on every podcast is great. We should also mention
we should
that
tease, right? What's happening?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We got to
go ahead. You tell
something
them.
happening.
Well, after next week, which is the finale episode 6, there'll be an episode 6 podcast, but we've been talking about doing a bonus episode, podcast episode, with a very special host, because, James and I, we had never done this before, the podcast world. And, we can talk, I know you don't like to admit how green we were in doing this, but,
no, we were totally.
But this was a bit of an experiment for us, and we didn't know if people would actually want to listen to it or like it. But it's hard for us to just talk to each other all the time, and
because we don't talk to each other like, Brian, so how do you feel about getting lunch right now?
Yeah,
of
course.
But we always wanted somebody who could come on and be an outside voice, outside perspective, to if not host the entire podcast series, at least to do the bonus episode. And, there's a phenomenal guest who is actually going to host. Do you know who it is, Christina?
No.
You don't? Our bonus episode?
Oh, my God. It's a very special
What?
guest.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I'm having chest pain.
It's me.
Wow. You're kidding. Congratulations. This is huge.
I am the guest host
Oh,
for the bonus episode
Jeans.
of McMillions. HBO is very happy with the choice.
Oh, wonderful. I love it.
We fought tooth and nail.
Yep.
And, we're able to make it happen.
Wow. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be really fun. I'm excited to do it.
No,
I'm excited to
we're
do it.
super stoked.
And I'm also excited to see what you guys do next. I mean, this was you just wet everyone's beaks. So you're going to have to, give us a new series soon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah.
We've got some things in some cooking, some things cooking.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that.
McMillions.
Check out McMillions on HBO, HBO On Demand, HBO Go, HBO Your Mom, and then check out the McMillions podcast everywhere that podcasts are available. And did they do the thing where they put the audio on the YouTube feed as well?
Yeah.
So like you
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
so you can go to YouTube and
Go
actually
to
just
YouTube.
click on it and listen to it.
You can even do it through after you watch the show.
App, yeah.
Oh, on the app itself.
Oh,
Phenomenal.
very cool.
Do you have the podcasting bug? Are you guys going to become podcasters now, you think?
That's pretty cool.
kind of
It's nice to be able to turn around something really fast.
Yeah.
Like, to do a show, it took us
Right.
a year and a half to do the thing.
That's true.
It's great to be able to do it and then be done in a couple days.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh,
on this
thank you so
series.
much. Thanks for
Congrats,
having
you
us.
guys.
Yeah, I'll see you again.
Bye, Mommy. Hi, Mommy. Thanks, Jeans. Thank you for watching this episode of Your Mom's House. And if you had a great time, watch more videos here, here, here. And don't forget to subscribe here, 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 so that you will know when Your Mom's House video comes out immediately. Thanks, Jeans.